Welcome to the Luminary Lounge. We've been waiting for you. This is not a place to get definite answers. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Please, open your minds, think for yourself, and do your own research. Enjoy today's guest.
All right, y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's the green light, baby. That is the green light. I got Lance and Rob here from TikTok. Rob, could you give your information out? Say what's up.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Batman 25 with 4 N's on the talk. And I'm from South Shore, Mass. I do videos just like Logan here, or Luminary, as you may know him. And Lance and I have done a live together in the past. We were just talking about it. We all have very similar interests and kind of connected via the Tartarian intersection on TikTok that we all know and love very, very closely now, I would say. But yeah, happy to be here, man. Looking forward to doing more of these.
Glad you're here too, man. Lance, what's up? What's up? What's up?
What's going on, y'all? So, met these guys through TikTok. I'm Lance from upstate. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We're out here and we're just showing all the ancient civilizations that exist here. And this is how we all kind of connected. Like Batman was saying, him and I met up and we did a live. It was pretty awesome. Aton State Hospital, a lot of these old world buildings are asylums and stuff like that, repurposed. And so Darren, and he's going to be coming on here, hopefully, and him and I go to a lot of cemeteries and a lot of cities, and we show all this history in real time, in real life. And I use my background as a former detective and a sergeant. I'm a combat veteran, and I use all those same principles in the scope of practice, and I apply that to the investigations that we do about this history. And so, like, all this stuff is legit. Like, there's a reason why all of us are connected and homies, is because we have no reason to come out here and lie. We all come from very diverse backgrounds, from all different demographics, and we all are very perceptive, and pattern recognition is something you can't fake. And when the same patterns are happening in Texas, that are happening in Massachusetts, that are happening in New York and Vermont and California, that don't make sense, especially logistically, when they look like the same stuff that's going on in Europe, like that's what connected us all. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And like the
just
canals,
like a thousand years separates them all somehow from Europe to here. But yeah.
And bro, since you showed the canals, that huge loop that I honestly didn't even know existed, because I was too, with the Champlain Canal and Erie Canal up here, I was pretty distracted with that. But that loop, dude, since you pointed that out, now I've been seeing the loop, that whole canal loop. And like Darren posted that video recently in Albany, and it shows the canals going through the city, dude. And it's so like everything.
So that was a topic. That was a topic I wanted, and we'll wait for Darren for that. Because
I haven't seen this one, by the way. I'm very
it
curious.
Is so wild. It's
so bro,
wild. Yeah,
there's a castle there, and I filmed it. Darren filmed it, and like we can tell like how him and I met up. We were literally a day apart filming stuff, and that's how we kind of connected. And that castle is right on the Hudson River, and dude, there's literally like, because the canals and maritime law and all that. Darren literally found the castle on a postcard, and it's all canals through there. It looks like Venice. And we show dude, it's absolutely, it's the same kind of stuff you're doing in, New England all around, Rhode Island.
I don't know if you guys have seen like the Nuremberg shit. You and I talked about it. Briefly.
Yeah, dude.
But like that guy, the Eben Norton Horsford or whatever, that was the one that kind of made that whole thing famous in the Boston area anyway. He was the Harvard professor that like erected the Nuremberg Tower and the Leif Erikson Monument in Cambridge and all that shit. And his whole like theory was based on evidence he found of an underground canal system, that he called it, that was extremely advanced, like way beyond us. He attributed it to the Vikings. That's where he got that whole theory. But it falls hand in hand with what you guys are talking about. Not to mention I've done like 4 or 5 different water parks. I call them water parks now, because they're like memorial parks that are all like dug out reservoirs and dam systems and shit that were all built in the 1700s and stuff. And like the stonework in the dams is unreal, and it actually like replicates what it would like city streets would look like if you really take the water out of the picture, and some of like the more modern shit. Like I think a lot of those places are just flooded over civilizations.
Absolutely.
Every one of these reservoirs, all these reservoirs, like in New York State, we have the Great Sacandaga. It's like it's the largest reservoir, largest man-made lake in the state. There's I don't know how many hamlets. It's in the double digits of townships that are underneath there. Then when I went to North Carolina to visit family, there's a reservoir down there. I looked it up. I'm like, there's got to be a town underneath there. You can't make this up, dude. Madison, Mayaden. There's one town, and it's called Little Egypt.
Of
Huh.
course,
Of
of course
course.
it
Little
is.
Egypt. I
Of
said, no
course it
way,
is.
bro. No way. And like,
Yep.
if you see my family, they're all Cherokee and stuff, much darker than me, but they're all Cherokee. And it's like, okay, Little Egypt, it all
Right.
makes,
Mhm.
you know what I'm,
Then you go,
Oh, it absolutely does.
oh,
Mhm.
oh, yeah. I mean, New Orleans, Canal Street. They tell you
Yep.
right there. It was
yeah.
a canal. There he is.
Providence, Rhode Island. They've like what used to look just like Venice too. If you look at old pictures from Providence,
Darren.
What's
same deal.
up?
What's up, buddy?
Providence, Rhode Island. Really? Okay, so Darren, let's catch you up on where we're at right now, and we need you to tell us everything you know. Okay, everything you know. I was just playing your canal video, in Albany. I can probably pull it up here. Let me see if I can find it. Can you hear me? Nope.
Darren.
Hello.
Darren.
No
Yeah,
sound.
Oh, there. Oh,
no,
Uh,
we can hear him. He just said he has no sound.
Oh, no sound.
Mhm.
Testicles 1 2. Testicles 1 2. Can you hear us? Nope. All right. Let me see if I can pull up his
are you on your
deal.
computer? He's on his computer, right? Must be.
Yeah. India. That was a while ago too, right? That video.
What's that?
His
The
canal
canal
video
video.
with
He just did that one in Albany. So we've filmed there. We've gone live there. He's filmed a bunch of videos there. There's all sorts of symbolism
oh,
all over that
dude,
castle. It's
Albany is
Mhm.
gigantic.
so fucking dude, the capital of New York is just
Well,
it
it's
doesn't
right down
make
the road
sense.
from that.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
make sense at all.
mm-mm.
We
And
talked
like
about that last time. It's nuts.
and the
Yeah.
New York State.
That was a Richardson building, I think. The Albany
Yes.
State
Yes.
Capitol.
When
Henry
we were
Hobson
talking about
Richardson,
it,
whatever.
you
Yeah.
got
Yep.
it. You got it.
Mhm.
Oh,
Okay, he
There's another castle that's right outside New York that I was actually just looking at. Shit. You can take a little like kayak up to it. It's in the water.
yeah, it's
It's not. Oh, what the hell is it
I know
called?
exactly which one it is. The Bannerman's
Yes.
Castle,
Yes.
and
Yeah, that
that's in
one.
the
nice.
Hudson. So the Hudson River, obviously from New York City,
Hmm.
comes all the way up past us, and that has been the focus of like my research and Darren's research
Hmm.
because everything came up through the Hudson. All of it
Yep.
came up
Yeah.
through and all the expansion came from here. Like
Hmm.
everything, it all started here. Even like Waterford, the city like next to Albany that we explore. Waterford is the oldest incorporated village in the entire country.
Is it
No shit.
really?
Yes, dude. So
See,
like,
those are
and
things we
That's
don't
wait. So
know. Those are
wait.
things we
So
don't,
where?
nobody told us, you know?
When was it incorporated? Because like by definition, I'm from the oldest part of the country down here,
Mhm.
like in Plymouth and shit, right? Like
Yeah.
supposedly by his story standards, anyway.
But you think about it, and like all would have been incorporated around the same time because that's when the corporation took
Hmm.
over. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like we have northern manors up here as opposed to southern plantations. And
Yep.
then when they incorporate, they take those manors and they turn them into townships with
Hmm.
trustees and mayors, and it's just the same
Yep.
rich people that control the town, and then it's also
Hmm.
the same families, heraldry. It's really the same feudal system, just disguised as democracy.
Isn't that
Yeah, it all
crazy?
goes back. It all leads back to the UK eventually at some point. Like at least like when you follow the money, like that's
All of it. The red,
Marit,
white, and blue.
maritime law.
Mhm.
Hey, Darren, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you guys hear
Okay.
me?
Darren!
All right.
Yeah. Dude,
What's
you
up,
looked like
buddy?
you were frozen there for a little
I
bit.
don't
I
know. I
didn't
was
know.
having problems with it registering my mic and my camera.
I thought you were mad at me and just ignoring me. I was like,
Hmm.
dude,
No,
we haven't even started yet, and this dude's
no.
already
Wow,
frustrated. Okay,
you
look,
gotta register yours? That's fucked up. I didn't have to register mine.
Yeah, I had to sign
what'd you
into
have to
my account.
register?
I had to
Oh,
like
okay.
sign into my account and it verified through my email, but then my microphone wouldn't like connect to the actual like Zoom app.
Okay, so real quick, can y'all, the two on your phone, can you see the screen being shared?
It
No.
says screen share pops up on the thing. Oh yeah, I can see it. I just
All
can't
right,
Okay.
see
hold
you
on.
guys when I pull up the screen share. I don't
Okay,
think.
Oh
so
yeah,
you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
flip.
Now I can.
Okay, good. Now we know. You got to flip back and forth. And I'll
Hmm.
let you know when I'm sharing. Well, I guess you'll
Oh,
see it, but
perfect.
hey, Darren, is this the canal one video with the
Yeah, that's
ties and
one of
all?
them. Yeah, yep.
Okay, let's go ahead. Hopefully the sound will work. Could you talk us through this video by any chance?
All right, well, I was just going down there on a live, walking down the street, and I seen the one cleat on it. It must have skipped a video right there.
Oh,
I'm gonna quiet it up. Okay, sorry. Yeah,
And
so there's a cleat on the side
yeah, so I'm
right
like,
here.
what's going on? Normally there's some kind of flagpole or something, but there's no pole over there for them to even tie it down. And then I'm going over here, there's another one. And that's the sign that says it's the traders and this is like a marketplace, so on and so forth. So I started looking up the history and they wanted to bring back the canal project because apparently it looked like that when it first happened. And then I was going around the cities. I didn't show it in this video, but there's actual seals of boats above all the doorways on the main street, and there's boats
that
all in the
wild?
Capitol building.
And this is right down the road, bro, from the Capitol, like you're talking about. This is literally down the hill. So you have the Capitol, the New York State Education Building, and all in that huge castle, all in the same area, right
Yeah.
next to the Hudson.
And then the Capitol was built on top of a star fort itself.
Hmm.
Wow.
So I don't even think they
They're always
demoed
built
it.
on a former place. Always.
Yeah, I don't even think
Yeah.
they demoed the star fort. If you see the old highway system, it goes right in. It looks like what used to be a star fort. They turned it into like a parking garage part
I
of
mean,
it.
look at that. What is this in the background right here?
That's the castle, the SUNY College.
Yeah,
Dude, like what?
it's
Hmm.
wild. And that was, they built it for the train station, right?
Well, that's what
That's what,
they said
yeah.
originally, but
Oh,
if
I'm
you
sure
start
they did.
looking at
Oh
the
yeah.
crests, though, there's all kinds of royal crests up there
And that there's
from
all
like,
sorts of stuff.
And this is Albany.
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
And this is literally right down the hill from the Capitol, from the New York State Board of Education, or the New York State Education Building, which is like the giant Roman Pantheon looking thing.
yeah, Greek temple. It's huge.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What is it called real
Who
quick?
did,
Hold on.
The New York
who do
State
they say?
Education Building.
Who built that one? I'm curious.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but that one burned up too, because that was where the museum was and it had a bunch of records in it.
Mhm.
And then, and this is all in like Rockefeller.
We had Rockefeller Plaza in Albany.
Yeah, this right
Okay.
here.
Nope,
No.
it's not it. It's
Oh.
the
So I feel like
one
I feel like I've
right
come
there,
across
New
it.
York State Education Building.
Right here?
Nope, that's the Capitol up above it to the right.
Oh, that.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah. But dude,
that's it.
Dude, look at this.
you got to find more pictures of it, bro. It's gigantic. Darren and I have both done videos. We went live. We've gone
Wow.
live there a couple times. And there, I counted, how many Corinthian pillars did we count, Darren? It was like, it's
I think there was
wild.
over 30 down just the one side alone.
One side, and those things are huge. And then there's
Yeah.
huge giant Nephilim doors on either side to
Yeah.
be the north and the south, right, or east to the west. But giant Nephilim doors, there's symbolism all over. And then there's like children on the lamp posts out front.
Yeah, that one's
Wow.
wild. There's they got swastikas on the back side of the building
Look
near
how
them
many
poles.
freaking pillars this is. Oh my
Bro,
God.
there's so many, Logan. There's so many. And they're gigantic, dude. They're huge.
It looks like, was it built for like an expo or something? That looks like one of the expo built, like, you know what I mean? Like one
Yeah,
of
no,
those
that's
so many.
centennial expositions or whatever.
Totally. That is so
Like,
wild.
it reminds me of the Parthenon that I did in Nashville. Like that's what that reminds
yeah,
me of.
bro.
It does. Yeah, and why is that there? Like what, like what, like
And that's literally across the street from the Capitol.
Yep.
And then down the hill is the castle. And there's multiple giant old world buildings and lodges all through the strip, all Solomon Temple banks and stuff.
So explain that a little bit. Like, Solomon Temple. Like I know it used to be open. These buildings with these that are closed up used to be open, right?
Yeah, Darren's the foremost expert, in my opinion, on a lot of this stuff.
Well, I think the Capitol building has some of the doors open
Yeah.
going into them, and they'll install doors like 3 or 4 like doorways into it. I guess they put like the revolving doors. With the side of the temple on, it's right across the street from the state building. I think it's Washington Ave. That whole face of the structure, there's no doors in it.
I'm trying to find this old it's a dictionary or encyclopedia, and it said I think it's in this like 1700s, and the definition of a temple was, an open air building. I guess it was explaining exactly what you talk about.
Yep.
And I
Well,
say
you look at You look at a lot of the photos like that I've looked at too, from like the when I'm going through, like, for instance, the Great Boston Fire or whatever, and I'm looking at the old photos of these buildings pre fire and post fire, and half the time they'll have arches like similar to that already bricked in, and the building was supposedly like, 5 years old in the photo, or 2 years old in the photo. So that we're just to assume that's part of the original design. But originally, like, just like Darren was saying, these were open temples, like, all the way around. There was no walls like we know them anyway. And that's why you see a lot of those bricked in arches on the sides of buildings.
I think if you
Even
go to my most recent video, or the
Let's
second
go.
one in, I got them installing new windows in the whole thing, and it's all open at the top, how it normally would be.
Second one?
Yep.
Rob, I'd be
Yeah.
curious about the one that you filmed, if it looks similar. I wonder what the dimensions are compared to the one in Albany.
The Parthenon.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well,
If it
that's
looks,
it's an
Yeah.
exact replica of the one in Greece. Like, to the dimension, like every dimension is exactly the same.
I,
I forget exactly what it was, but
But you're saying if
yeah,
this looks like if this
yeah.
state education building is
Hmm.
similar. Yeah.
because
And
then you're talking about all these different, buildings being different families and stuff, so
mhm.
they'd have similar structures built across.
Oh yeah.
Right?
You know
And
what
the
I'm saying?
architecture too, like that's the I don't know if, I did like a video where I did a snippet of Donald Duck Goes to Math Magic Land. I don't know if you guys saw that
Yeah,
one, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I did. I
he
did.
talks about the golden rectangle and in sacred geometry, and how that was utilized in all the ancient architecture, like those buildings. And like, because the golden rectangle, like, literally you get everything from that. You get like the double helix and the spiral, and like the whatever, the perfect triangle and all that shit, like, come or is related to the golden rectangle, which they try to replicate in that architecture, like that building that you just showed, like the state capitol or whatever, the education building, as well as the Parthenon. You can break them down into like infinite amounts of equally, I forget what it is, like rectangles though. Like, they literally, that's how the math, like the amount of math that goes into those places.
Absolutely. Obviously there is. Hey, let's see, what was it called? I'm trying to find it. Oh, the reservoir that was in New York. Found these old pictures. Croton Reservoir, was that what it's called?
Rotten.
Croton, maybe?
Yeah, there's so many reservoirs up here because there's the Tomahannock that's close by that feeds the city of Troy. And you can't take a boat or nothing out on it, so they know they're hiding stuff there. And the Sacandaga is gigantic. There's and all these reservoirs.
The
What was the
Sacandaga
one?
has 20,000 hamlets underneath it and 3 churches.
Does it really?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Sacandaga Sacandaga Reservoir.
That was really impressive, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm trying to pull it up right here. So we can kind of
Sacandaga
go
Lake.
this
So
right here.
Sacandaga Lake, yeah.
So what river is that?
Oh, the Hudson and then Sacandaga River, I
That
think.
that is Hudson. Okay. Is in
Yep.
the Hudson, right off of the Hudson is Fort Ticonderoga, isn't it?
That's Lake
Yeah.
Champlain.
Okay.
So Lake Champlain is connected to the Hudson via the Champlain Canal. And then the Erie Canal connects to it as well. And that's why it's all important where Darren is down there, because this is where all these shipping canals and it's all merchants. It's where they all come together. Like, and
Albany's like the tri-point where it goes north, west, and south.
like you can get to anywhere from there from the ocean. Enter in that huge loop, Logan, that you talk about.
Yep.
And so Ticonderoga is a star fort that was just south of Crown Point, both on Lake Champlain, both star forts. And then you have Lake George. There was another star fort there called Fort George. They have a reproduction
Yeah.
fort on Lake George now, and it's Fort William Henry. It's not even the real one. It's made out of wood. It's literally just meant to throw everybody off.
Of course. Yeah.
But Fort
Totally threw us
Ticonderoga,
off.
yeah,
Totally threw us off. Yeah. Go ahead.
Ticonderoga is pretty wild. But what's interesting is that they redid some of that fort as well. And a lot of the stones were used as foundational stones, according to the history, for the town of Ticonderoga.
Of course.
That
Yeah.
sounds like the story in Savannah, where they used all the stones they used to pave
Yep.
all the streets, so which are
Yeah.
basically canals. Just going back to what you guys are talking about, like Savannah
Yep.
literally is just a bunch of canals connecting the entire city. But they said they were, what did they call them? Ballasts from the
Ballast.
ships that were
Yeah.
bringing in cargo, and they would just unload stones that were perfect for them to make paved, cobblestone roads with.
That's how they say that uh down in South Carolina, Charlestown,
Mhm.
King
Charleston
Charlestown.
was a whole
Yeah,
fort. It was
that's
one
built.
big fort.
Yeah, and that was a whole huge star fort. I went there and I made a bunch of
I did
videos.
too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and dude, they say that was all built out by ballast. 60%
Mhm.
padded out into the ocean.
Yep.
It says all is ballast stone. I said, well, what sense does that make? Because aren't they sailing
Mhm.
back? Where are they getting the
Yep.
ballast stone
Yep.
to keep
Right.
up?
That customs house, bro. That place was a fucking temple. You did a video on it. I did a video on it too. The customs house there in Charleston.
In
They
Charleston,
had the
let's check it
checkerboard
out.
fucking entranceway, I think, or like they had those big massive iron wheels on all sides. You remember that place? Like I don't know
Yeah,
if you
dude.
saw.
Well, I wonder if because I still have a bunch of content from that, dude. We should merge our
Mhm.
stuff together and make a video. Dude,
That'd
that'd
be
be
cool,
funny,
dude. Yeah.
wouldn't it?
I got a
Please do
ton of
that.
shit from that too, yeah.
Let's see. Is this
They just
it
muted my
right
video
here?
from Charleston actually.
What's
Is
that?
this Charleston's custom house? This
Oh yeah,
right here.
the custom house. I remember,
Yep,
bro. Yeah, I
yep,
did
yep,
a few videos there. That thing is insane, dude. Same
Like
yep.
exact thing. That reminds me of the same Corinthian columns as like the education building, and then
Mhm.
it's the same kind of thing you see. It's so preposterous,
everywhere.
honestly.
It's ridiculous. It really is. I mean, why? Why?
Mhm.
I say that so many times in my videos, like why? But it's the best, best thing you can say with all this
Hey, you
shit.
want to see something really wild? Just talking about Vermont real quick. So the population in New York City is 8 to 9 million people. The population in the whole state of New York is like 20 million people. The population in the entire state of Vermont is 650,000 people.
Wow.
Okay, there's nobody there. The biggest city in Vermont is Burlington's got 44,000 people. New York City's got 9 million.
That's crazy. That's so
Yep.
crazy.
That's
If you
wild.
look up Montpelier, the capital, and this is very similar to DC in my opinion. If you look up Montpelier, the capital, check out that golden dome structure there, and the logistics make 0 sense for the population of it being built in the mountains of Vermont.
Mhm.
Okay. Montpelier, Vermont, right?
Yeah, I think it's a state house. It's
And then they move all the capitals too. Like when you start looking at them, like all the Capitol buildings that I filmed and all that shit. Like there were like 5 different state capitals of the state of Georgia. I remember, and like the state of Maine is what I just thought was thinking of because Augusta wasn't always the state capital in the state of Maine. I forget what it was. I think Portland may have been at one point.
yep,
But I'm wondering, I think they usually use that as like another narrative to explain the more temples that are in these cities because like there's no other
100%.
explanation for them,
There's no other.
Is
But
this it right here? Is this it
that's it
right
right
here?
there, dude.
Yeah.
Don't that look like the Boston Capitol?
Let me
Yeah,
see.
right.
Oh yeah, yeah, it does. Yep.
It looks like a miniature
Or the Providence
Colorado's.
one.
Or
Yeah,
the
same
Yeah.
one.
Providence one. And that's what I'm saying, Rob. I
Or
know
the
you've made a bunch of videos.
Alabama one.
Or the Alabama.
Yeah.
It looks like
Jackson,
Denver's.
Mississippi. Yep.
Denver's
You
has a
keep going.
golden dome too. Oh
And
yeah, you
Hmm.
can
bro,
keep going.
that makes 0 sense. I plan on bringing Darren up there. Dude, it makes 0 sense. There's nobody in Vermont. There's nobody in
Nope.
Vermont.
Nope.
Like here's
Bro,
Colorado's.
I did a video on Clay County, Alabama, when I was just cutting through there. It was like a
I
town.
saw
It
that.
was like a Tombstone, Arizona type shit. Like there's like 2 stores in the whole town, and they had a courthouse that looked just like that, like with like
Yeah.
4 like bronze domes, and like the population of the city was less than 4,000 people. 2 years after they built that place, like in the census that was taken 2 years after, made no sense.
Clay County
Yeah, Clay County Courthouse, I think, in
in
Clay County,
Alabama.
Alabama. I forget. I don't even know the name of the town.
The
Yeah,
one
look
you
at this
just
thing. Hold
pulled up,
on.
Logan, that kind of looks like the Freemason place in Alexandria, Virginia, the way it's stacked up like that.
The Colorado's
Yeah.
state
That looks
capital.
like the Freemason headquarters.
Yeah, look at
Yeah,
this. It's just a
yep,
miniature a miniature
literally.
replica of all the other ones.
I bet you the town population now is like 10,000 people right now.
Oh,
Like
I'm
And it
sure.
makes
that was built in like 1800 or something, 1890 maybe.
Yeah.
well, it's because people worked harder back then, Rob.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. Yep. They just said they cared a lot more about the architecture for the government versus themselves, I guess, because all of them lived in shacks and were building those fucking palaces.
Basically, we were just bitches, we're just bitches as compared to
Hmm.
them, like, because we can never do that. I'm trying to pull up. All right, what else are y'all doing? Like work? Like what y'all's next video getting cooked up with? Y'all got something coming up down the pipe?
This is it
I'll
right
let
here,
you,
buddy.
This is it? Oh man.
Wow.
Oh man, shucks.
I had a question for Darren. I just saw a video of his yesterday. There was I forget what you were outside a church and you were filming a statue that I filmed a few times. The one of the Virgin Mary is what they say it is, I believe, where she's stepping on the snake.
Yeah, yep.
And you pointed something out that I had never noticed before, as far as like how she's standing on the crescent moon. Like I've always noticed that she was standing on like a U-shaped platform like
Yep.
that normally. Like, and I don't know, it was kind of mind blowing, bro. Because like I was always on the assumption it was Mary Magdalene at first. Like that's who I thought it was. But that just made a lot of sense to me. That was cool.
Yeah, they got it. Some of them are different. Like some of them will be standing on just regular I've seen one with just a snake and an apple like wrapped around her foot on no platform. That was the first one I seen with her connected to that moon crescent. But I had a conversation with the lady who runs the church down the street from me. It's the Catholic church. It's St. Mary's, and she said herself that was the temple of Isis,
No shit.
and it never really clicked for me. I was like, what's
Yeah.
this lady getting at? There's nothing over there. Like they have one statue in the city, and I'm like, what did she mean by that? And then when I stumbled upon that one, it finally clicked.
You showed me that one, Darren, in the Albany Rural Cemetery on the other side. That was the same kind of thing, with the woman standing on it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. The shrine, and it says
Yeah.
Queen of Heaven right on the backside of it.
And that cemetery, Rob, you know what it's on? Mount Olive, bro.
Yeah, the old
Okay.
maps.
It's
Yep.
the whole thing's a mound. Darren and I have gone there. We've gone there live like 3 times, dude. We haven't even explored 30%
It's the
of
biggest
it.
cemetery in New York State.
Gigantic.
How big is it? You know?
Dude, I put some
'Cause
facts in it, Rob. It's
Yeah.
freaking huge, bro.
How what is it called? How big is the
Albany Rural. There's crazy stories about it too. Like there's water serpents popping out the mound like spirits, and there's water shoots out the top of the hills.
Oh
There's
shit.
literally
There's
Rob,
like a
you would
snake
love it,
mound.
dude.
There's a snake
Yeah,
mound
no,
on
that
the
sounds right
backside of the
that sounds right
cemetery.
alley.
It's
What
Bro,
is
Rob, when you come
Albans.
up here, bro,
Yeah.
we'll bring you. Seriously.
Dude, I'm down. I love those places. I just did
It's
the Mount Auburn one.
400.
Yeah, saw that place is 173 acres or something. I did like maybe 50% of it in like 4 hours. I was walking around that place.
That
Wow.
was wild. I was watching that. The Albany Rural is 400 acres.
Holy
Which is fucking
Dude, Rob, it's
467,
huge.
67, 467.
Oh, 67. My
wow.
bad.
400.
My
Dude,
bad.
More than
Rob,
twice the size.
we got locked in there one night, dude.
Yeah, it
No
was so
way.
big. Yeah.
They
That's
locked
awesome.
us in. I had to take the fence apart for us to get
Did you
out.
really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Tell us about that. Tell us what y'all were doing.
Well, Darren and
We
I
were trying to leave.
Uh-oh. What did I get into?
was that the first time we went there, Darren? I think it was
I think so. But
and
we're like little kids with it.
Y'all just started laughing, looking at each other.
well, because like
Whoa.
and people see it when we're live together. You know, Darren's used to doing his thing. I'm used to doing mine. And a lot of times we'll always end up right next to each other, but we'll take off like on our own thing. And everybody's like, where's Lance or where's Darren? And then we're all, going back and forth. It's the same kind of thing. We got up in the cemetery and we knew they closed, but we're like, oh, they ain't going to lock us in. Because a lot of them, they say they're going to close, but then you look at the gates, dude, and the gates ain't been closed in years. Then some of them you look at them and they're strict about it, like Oakwood and stuff. Oakwood's super strict. They know they lock them at 7 o'clock or whatever. So we were kind of just messing around, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we kind of got behind a little bit and we didn't think it was too serious. And no, they locked us in there. And like we went back and forth. We called the phone numbers, couldn't get a hold of anybody. And so there was a chain link. There was a chain that went across. And dude, I literally got my tools and I'm like, all right, don't worry, Dare, we're getting out of here. And I took the chain apart and he drove over it. I drove and I put the chain back on and we got out of there. And then we went back and almost did it again, dude. We almost did it again.
I don't doubt it. I've gotten, you know how many times that's happened? Like I've gotten lost so many times. Like when I parked the van and like I just go to film something and I'm like, oh, what's that over there? And then like I end up like 3 miles away. I have no fucking clue where the van is. And there was one time in New Orleans where like I was panicking at one point because I left Nala in there, and like it was like Mardi Gras, and it wasn't cool out, but it wasn't, it was warm. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to leave her in there too long. And like it took me like an hour and a half just like running around the city of New Orleans searching for this little girl right here. And yeah, Yeah,
Yeah,
because like just like you
you're
said,
panicking.
you turn into a little kid. That's
You're
what
like,
it
oh,
is.
look at
You know
this
what I
one.
mean?
One more. We got
Mhm.
time. And the next thing you know,
Yeah.
we're locked in.
Well, according to my phone, Darren, the last time when we went live in Troy, and then we went to Waterford, you know how many miles we did that day?
How many?
We did, and I was barefoot the entire time. 7.8 miles.
Yep.
Damn. That's a
We got to
trek.
do 10-mile days
Mhm.
then. There's some days we're out there
There's
for
some
like,
days we're doing 10-mile days for sure.
Y'all's
And like you
lives are
said,
so
Rob, you're just
awesome.
like you're all over the place, you
Oh,
know.
dude, yeah, nonstop. Yep.
Yeah,
I
y'all's
just
lives
pull
are
over.
great,
I'll just
man.
pull over all the way. It happens all the time. It's on my way home from work. Like, what's that? And I just end up pulling over. My dog fucking hates it, but
Yeah.
she has to deal with it.
Well, and
Yeah.
look at that night that you and I went live. That whole remember that the rock wall all around the Taunton Hospital.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Dude, that
yeah.
was dude, that wall was insane.
Yep. That
And
was
we
like 10
walked
feet
around
tall.
we went
And
around
that
the
was what
whole
we could
thing.
see.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Sorry, bro. Sorry to cut you off.
Where is it? It's a
Taunton.
wall. How do you spell that?
Taunton, Taunton. Taunton
Yeah.
State Mental Hospital. Is it mental
Yeah,
hospital?
dude, it's like one of the most haunted places ever. It's in the Bridgewater Triangle,
That's a
which
Kirkbride too, right? I think,
Oh,
right?
I'm
what's that?
sure. I'm
Is that
sure
one of
it's a
the
Kirkbride.
Kirkbride system or whatever, or one of those like they
It
call it
Dude,
that?
is.
I think.
It's got to be. Yeah, look at
Hmm.
it. I mean, this looks like a.
Now he was what a designer. He like designed the buildings,
Yeah,
Kirkbride.
supposedly they made these. His name was Kirkbride, last name, but basically they say that he made it this way, like huge like that, so people could
Hmm.
feel freer and not more compact. But you look
Hmm.
at them, and these places are 600 to 1,000 people in them. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Like, first off, why are there so many in there? And
Mm.
does a insane asylum really need to look like this right here? Like,
oh,
you
hey,
know,
you want to see one even
Like a castle, like a
like
castle.
like
a
a
Yeah, you
castle?
see
castle.
it. Yeah, it's a castle.
Well, hey,
Hmm.
I got another one. You want to look up a wild one? Look up the New York State Lunatic Asylum
Oh, in
in
Buffalo.
Utica. Dude,
Oh,
that
okay.
one is insane.
New
And that one's
York
gigantic.
State.
Rob, that one's huge. And it's just like what you were describing with the customs
Hmm.
house and everything.
Utica.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Dude, I did a couple videos about this one and it is huge.
Right
I
And
saw a
it's,
there.
guy.
dude,
I
and it's
saw a
a,
guy just post a video with a picture of the Solomon Temple, like in the Bible. That I forget what it was like. I thought he said it was a King James Bible, but I think I could be wrong there. But it was literally like an illustration of the Solomon's Temple, and it looks just like all the insane asylums, like with all the castle like corners, like the pillars and stuff
yeah.
on all four corners and everything, like the turrets, I guess you would call them. But literally, all of those insane asylums and like the prisons and shit look identical to the picture that this guy showed on his video of what he called a picture of Solomon's Temple, which I'd never seen before. But I don't know if you guys
Gotcha.
have seen that before, the picture or a photo or illustration of it.
This one is. I think Buffalo has one too, right? Buffalo
Yeah.
Insane
Mhm.
Asylum. Yeah,
Buffalo
dude.
has so much wild stuff, dude.
Dude, look at this. Like, I hope people haven't seen this and this shocks them, because when I pulled this up, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, so this is your boy Richardson, one of his layouts. Look at that.
Yep. Yep.
Why? Why?
Hmm.
Why and
It's
how?
dirt, dude. It's all mud, literally all mud. There's no infrastructure there to support building that logistically makes zero sense.
Yeah,
No.
it's ridiculous. And then they built it, not only did they build it huge, but they built it in 1860s or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like they're not logical either when you think about like the purpose they were built for. Like if they were really thinking about caring for patients and thinking about long term, like those places aren't easy to heat nor maintain or staff for that matter. Like how many do you have to have on the maintenance crew just for like the lawn, you know?
Of course. Look at this is Danvers
Yep.
State Hospital.
Hmm.
This one's insane.
I'm gonna be going up there soon. Actually, that's on my list.
Is it?
Where is that?
Yeah, that's in Mass. That's in Danvers, Massachusetts.
So
Oh,
this
really? How
Yeah,
far?
that's up that's on the North Shore. That's up by like Gloucester area.
Oh, Gloucester? Oh, dude, I've been
Yeah,
wanting to go back there, bro. Gloucester?
this is
there's a
this is
ton up that way.
Austin's.
Like
Austin's is ridiculous.
Salem's right around there. Like everyone knows about Salem.
Oh yeah.
Um, which
Darren,
I'm
you ready to go to Massachusetts yet, Darren?
just starting to learn about that a
I'll
little bit
go.
more.
Darren, we should go take a road trip and go
Yep,
down
dude.
and we can
We,
stay
More
with
than
we
Rob.
that.
We
have
can
to.
stay with my buddy Johnny. We can
Yep.
go down and explore so much stuff down there, dude.
We're
Yeah,
running
man.
out of buildings up
Open
here.
invitation. I keep feeling the same way down here, but then I find a new rabbit hole, dude. It's just a matter of time.
Well,
From one to another.
I know it's the same way with you
Mhm.
guys, but even Darren and I will go and we'll go to places together multiple times and we'll both see things even on our third time that both of us missed.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, all the time.
There's
Absolutely.
just too much
Mhm.
detail in all the buildings to get it your first time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
and y'all can break it down really good. That's the thing. Like I'm not very good at, symbolism and stuff like that, but y'all really can like look at a structure and every single corner of it, break it down. It's very impressive. Very impressive. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Darren's amazing at breaking down the symbolism, I'd say. Like I've learned a lot just from watching his videos.
Absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely.
And then
I
show
thought
you the
this.
verses, in the Bible, and then
Mhm.
pull up the
Mhm.
Yeah, they
Bible.
talk about it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
already written. Hey, Lance, how about Emma Willard?
Oh,
When we
dude,
went
Emma.
into there.
Yeah. Dude, Emma
You're not even
Willard.
allowed to record. We just showed up, and the security
Bro.
pulled up, and somehow our other buddy got on the phone with them, and they let us walk around with no pictures or video in. But
What
Where
is
was
it?
this?
Where at?
Emma Willard, it's a private school, and there's a dragon on it. There's
Oh,
a
dude.
giant knight's crest right on the front of the building.
The
Bro.
schools are hiding so
Oh,
much, man.
look at this thing.
Like
Oh my
so much.
God.
All of the schools everywhere.
Logan. The
They
thing
have
is,
Tiffany glass in the back. It has the Freemason compass, and it looks like
Mm.
Solomon right on it.
This is a
Mm.
school. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
bro,
Can I,
I gotta pull it up. I got it. Hold on.
no, the whole there's a literal like Molochs and Freemason
Wow.
squares, dude, and I got pictures of it. Secretly, they won't let
Look
you
at all
film,
that.
and they have castles on their patches for security, dude. And there's
What?
this place is insane, and the symbolism is. Dude, I
Yeah.
was trying so hard to keep myself contained because the security approached us a couple times.
Hmm.
We had
What
permission
is
though. They let
this?
us hang out, and like the one dude, he was like the boss for the security. He came out. He's like, "Who did you guys?" I was like, "No, we talked to security already, bro." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And like he left us alone, you know. And that's kind of the good thing is that I can kind of play that side of it, and my
Hmm.
background. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh
Absolutely. I
yeah.
would pull that out all the
like
time.
all
I
these
would pull that
Hmm.
out.
pictures that are on Google are filtered pictures from them. They don't
oh,
show any of the symbolism or crest. They have
Dude,
lions that are
Yeah,
holding the compass
the
in its mouth.
bro,
I
the
was
it's
looking for
landscape
it.
the landscape of that place actually it looked like when you looking at the aerial, it almost looked like the shape of the philosopher's stone symbol or the
Really? Where
what
is
do
it?
you call it?
I mean, where was the one that
If
oh,
not,
this one?
if not the Philosopher's Stone, what you call a thaumaturgic triangle, which is
Mhm.
a triangle inside of
look
circle, I think.
This
look at
right here, this triangle, and
Oh
then
yeah,
this
oh
circle.
that,
look at
yeah,
the
yeah. Oh yeah,
eye,
no. See, so the triangle
Yeah.
inside of I think it's a triangle inside of a rectangle inside of a square or something like that. Or I forget what the Philosopher's Stone symbol
bro. Look
actually
at
is when it comes to sacred geometry, but it's something similar to that.
That
that
is
that
wild.
the circular. That's an eye, and look, they got the trees planted on either side to even give it
Right? The
a
whites.
pupil, a
Yeah.
pupil.
Hmm.
You know what I
But that's
mean?
just it's all done by design though. Like it's not just by
Absolutely.
chance. And,
No,
it's all
absolutely.
always
Oh
they
yeah.
always have this shit when you look down from an aerial view. Like when you look at like a lot of the parks I've been to, like the Forefathers Monument in Plymouth always jumps to mind. Like when you look at the aerial view or the Pilgrim Monument in Provincetown, same shit. Just like
Yeah.
all sacred geometry or what we know as Masonic symbolism, like that they kind of bastardize. But yeah.
And then you got the windows like this. Look at that.
Hmm.
Just chopped off
I've
in the
talked to
middle.
somebody who follows me on
Yep.
TikTok, who works security here. He said that there's another like 5 to 9 floors that he don't even know how
No.
far down it goes.
Dude,
No
Really.
and because
way.
Yeah.
it's on a
Yeah.
huge hill. It's on a huge hill.
I saw a
Whoa.
guy. I
That's
watched a video of a
trippy.
guy trying to debunk us when we say that those windows underground are like evidence of like these buildings are mud flood or whatever. And his explanation was that back in the day they wanted to give the people that worked in the basement daylight so that they
Dude.
felt like normal
Yeah.
people or some
Yeah,
shit.
I've heard that too. I actually was
Mm.
just like my counterpart at work. I just randomly asked him one day. We were walking past a courthouse. I was like, "Hey man, isn't it funny that the windows are like this?" Kind of like to get his wheels churning. And he was like, "Well, they didn't have lights. They didn't have lights, so they had to put
Yeah.
windows down." I'm
Yep.
like, "Did really?"
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I
Hmm.
tried.
Yeah. But
I
that one's
tried.
filled half. Why is that one filled three-quarters of the way up? Why? Like that's all dirt.
Yeah.
Like that's all they're looking at.
My
Yeah.
friend, he actually owns like a bunch of properties and stuff. He bought a property in Albany on the main street, In the backyard, you can see the mud come right down the sharp hill and it goes right into the house, right? And it's like perfectly even to where the mud comes into the house, that it's covered in mud.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a fireplace in there, and they're calling it the basement. He was trying to have them come in and pour concrete, like another pad to put a floor down. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, bro, like there's a floor underneath that. Like
Oh yeah.
so I'm not kidding. Like 3 weeks later, he calls me. He's like, "Yo, dude, I hired these dudes to come dig it out. There was really a floor underneath there, like
Hmm.
because
You found
we
it.
all got
That's great.
flooded." And he was like thanking me, and I was like, "Yeah, don't be telling anybody that over here." Because
Yeah,
like,
like on that topic, so what is the time frame on this cataclysm, or whether it was deliberate or a natural deal? What is the time frame in y'all's minds? I know this is all theorizing, but that's what we do. So thought it would be
Mm-hmm.
fun just to kind of shoot at the hip. It seems like it's got to be, within the past 400 or 500 years, I would think. I did just watch Steve Falconer. Have you ever watched him on YouTube? Space Busters is his page. Here,
I've
let me
heard the
pull it
name, I
up.
think.
Yes. And he has a pretty good theory. All the maps, like all the old maps don't have the Great Lakes on it.
Yeah.
Uh, and then all of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden they pop up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that was, he was saying something happened for that, and then California looking like it's an island and all that. But he was
Absolutely.
Yep.
saying somewhere around 400 or 500 years ago, and that, I don't know, that just made sense to me. What do y'all think?
That kind of makes sense. I mean, I personally think that there's been multiple, like from what I've seen, like in my research, like I've kind of come to the conclusion there's been like at least three or four different resets, or like maybe like different cataclysmic events that occurred at different times. Because like you can clearly see a difference in the architecture sometimes, like that they've been manipulated from the original builders, but even the manipulation that was done is far more advanced than what we can accomplish today. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And
yeah,
I think it's hard to kind of nail down a time frame when it's been, I don't know, something that I think is almost cyclical with the world, like from the dawning of time almost. Like it's just like someone
yeah,
hits a reset button after a certain time period or whatever. But
yeah,
I would guesstimate like the last one, yeah, I would say like 300-400 years ago would be my guess. But who fucking
yeah,
knows?
yeah. Who fucking knows? That's a fact. Yeah.
Hmm.
But any of y'all?
So I've read so many texts about the resettlement of the West Coast and like all the abandoned buildings out there and people resettling heading out that way. We obviously know, that like everything about race and everything and tribes, everything's been lied to, and that there were giants here before, and like every culture, every
Hmm.
civilization talks about great floods, and
Hmm.
just like you said, Rob, like it seems like something happened, more recently. I mean, we know that they added 1,000 years to a lot of this stuff. We see that, and then they had the eye on stuff, and we all show that all the time.
Hmm.
So we
hmm
know that we're missing 1,000 years. We definitely know that there's been a huge reset that happened somewhere around the turning of the Civil War and stuff. Uh, and the resettlement and the expansion, the Louisiana Purchase. There's so much that goes into it, and then you
So
got the
much.
hmm
the Cabbage Patch Kids and then the babies that they were showing off at the World's Fair, their incubator babies, and then they had them at Coney Island, and
Yeah.
hmm
Darren and I have showed the canals and how they had child labor, working all
hmm
the canals, 10,000 kids or something like that. And one of them was a president. He ended up being a president.
hmm
And you think about it, like this goes so deep to programming. It's like, who is
So,
your best
yep.
candidate for the corporation? Well, probably the child laborer that you had working on the
Yeah,
canal
for sure.
systems that joined the
Whether that,
military.
yeah,
Yeah,
whether that's true or
were they
not.
building the railroads at the same time as the canals? Like, what was it? The
Oh
Well,
same time
so
yeah,
frame?
the
it's
whole thing is that a lot of these rail beds are just canals that they filled in. And
yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
exactly.
Chris Beale shows that quite a bit with the Morris Canal. And it's the same thing
Hmm.
up here. There's every one of these cities that we go through has all got canals. And like Darren, we showed in Cohoes, the underwater canals. Darren and I are going to crawl into them, but they go underneath Harmony Mills. That's like right on the Mohawk, like same kind
Yep.
of thing. I mean, and around and a long way, dude, like again, there seems like there's evidence of multiple, but
Mhm.
the resettlement, like in like you're talking like what 18th, 19th century. You're not talking that long ago of resettling
Hmm.
out west. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
there's
everything happened so fast too. It was like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like when everyone got here, all the settlers and everything, supposedly, according to his story, like in the 1600s or whatever, and like nobody knew how to build shit. Like, but yet they all came from Europe, where we see all these castles that were built for centuries before them. Like,
Right.
and somehow everyone forgot when they were crossing the Atlantic when they got here, and like then all of a sudden, like 100 years later, they all just remember all together, all across the country at the same time, simultaneously, and all of these castles just pop up out of nowhere. And like I think
Yeah.
that was like the kind of what Lance was just saying, like was the beginning of like the narrative rewrite. Like this,
Exactly.
I think the reset probably happened like 100 years maybe before that, because you figure it's going to take a little time for them to get their fucking legs under them after our cataclysmic event. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Got
So,
to.
And that correlates everything with the fires, even to
mhm,
go along with the education building catching on fire. But every city has a fire. Every city has the same pattern narrative. They
yep,
all have fires. And like they're
mhm,
doing the same stuff right now digitally. And when I was a police officer, there's a grant right now in New York State to digitize all police reports and stuff. And so all police agencies are sending all the reports to the county that's digitizing them. And then all the paper copies of every agency are getting housed in the basement of the county. So they're going to be consolidated again, but they're all
mhm,
digitized as well. And it's all a
yep,
state grant, a e-state grant from
mhm,
So
yep.
here's
And the
here's a
hard copies can't be manipulated as easy as the digital ones. I don't think. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
that's
But just
like
like
someone
you said,
commented on the Carnegie Library shit that I just did, and like said that like in the comments, like about how they, that was one of the main reasons that they were doing that, collecting all the books, dude. You know what I mean? Because like they can't. There's no other way to erase that shit.
That's why they
absolutely.
put it all in stone to begin with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think, Darren? What's your opinion?
Yeah.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that this place flooded like it was Noah's flood, and they're just there's that was like the cataclysmic reset, and then they were going around doing like mini resets on top of it to just cover up the cities
Yeah.
on
Mm-hmm.
top, like from that event.
I
I
can
don't really
totally
believe in
get
the
on
whole
board.
ADBC thing, because when they don't give you a starting date, it lets them go back as far as they want in time. If that makes sense.
Meaning like when they
Yeah.
say they put a 1 in front of it.
I'm saying like their concept of time with being like AD and BC, like
Yeah.
them saying BC allows them to go back in time as far as they want instead of there being like a creation point or a starting
Ah,
date.
I see.
Yep. Yep. And then you got to figure in the fact that they changed to the Gregorian style
Yeah, they
calendar
changed
under,
the
I think,
calendars. Yeah,
Constantine, I think, did that, right? Or
No,
I forget who.
it was Greg, it was well, Scaliger did, all of the history basically. He rewrote history. But yeah, Gregorian is named after the guy
Yeah.
that did it. Yeah.
No, I'm saying that there was a Roman, I think, emperor, right, that made the switch from the lunar calendar to the Gregorian calendar, like made that like a law across the land or whatever the fuck it was. You know what I mean? Back
Correct.
then.
Correct. Yeah, that is
I
correct.
want to
Very,
say
very
it was
early
it
on.
was it Constantine? I want to say it was Constantine, which makes me think like because he's connected to a lot of shit. Like when you really
Well,
look into it,
they all,
like
man, they're so connected. Everything is so
yeah,
freaking
like,
connected, bro.
it always comes back to like the Templars and then Solomon and then Nimrod if you want to keep going back and like all through and then and then if you want to come future time you get the Freemasons, like that's the modern day representation of a lot of that shit.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
You
Rob,
know.
you and I talked a lot about that stuff, but like Darren shows like those Solomon temples
Hmm.
you're asking about, Logan. Like, and Darren shows in Albany, right next to the Capitol Education Building, like the temple. Like,
Hmm. Yeah,
like
yeah. No, I know. I've seen them when you get the scripture of the Bible right there
yeah,
next to the building.
exactly.
Hmm.
What is it called, Darren? The one you are talking about in New York?
well, I have there's
Actual,
like 8
actual
temples
salt.
over there, so
So
I'm like,
what's one of them, just to pull it so I can pull it up to give a visualization?
um, there's Temple 2 on Lodge Street. That's the Freemason Hall.
Temple 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you record the Mason Hall. That is crazy too. Temple 2 on Live Street in Albany.
That's
Because
what it's
there's
called.
a
Temple Two.
yeah.
Where's Temple One?
They just hopped
Uh,
it too, dude.
yeah, no. I always have to. I always
I
jump to those
looked
questions.
for it, I couldn't find it.
I'm wondering if it's not well because I videoed Solomon's Lodge #1 in Savannah. It was supposed to be the first Masonic lodge in North America, I think.
Look
oh,
at this
really?
street level. Look at this street
1733. Yeah.
level. Look at this street level. Yeah, Albany's street levels are just like, how has
Yep.
nobody started, talked about this earlier.
Mhm.
Isn't that
They
wild to
probably
think about though?
raised it. They probably raised it at
Yeah.
one point, right?
Well,
Like,
they
that's the
did.
other
And
thing.
on the other
Mm.
side on State Street, you can look in the grates. It drops down 30 feet right underneath the building. Like you
Mhm.
can pull the grate up. There's a ladder that goes down 30 feet, and you can just you're in the canal at that point.
Here's the Odd Fellows.
Yeah.
Look at the window set them up.
There's honestly
Mhm.
so many buildings down on that street. Nobody, I don't know which one you're talking about exactly.
Yeah.
What do you
Or are
what
you
do you
talking the
think?
one with Solomon on it?
No,
Yeah.
I will. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know what he was talking about. Yeah, he
Because
was.
we found one in Schenectady had Solomon right on it, and instead of like
Yeah,
the
that one's
family
wild.
crest, it was the Bible with the compass.
What?
Like before they get
I
sanded
saw
down.
a couple. I saw a couple videos where you literally were like pointing out the, like almost like the street names like that you were on, and like saying like this was, this is this temple here, based on this, you had the scripture like right next to the building basically in the camera. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember what temple it was specifically, but
There was one that we did recently when we were live in Amsterdam that was really good, and people were stealing that and pirating that for Darren. And there was that big
oh, I
red
see his shit get pirated all the time.
dude. It's wild, and they
I
changed
think
his
it's funny.
voice. Yeah, like
Mhm.
Yeah, that is so weird. Yeah,
Yeah, they
let's see.
changed his voice. Yeah.
because
Yep.
everybody can
Uh,
like knows his voice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. Like, who the
Mhm.
hell is
well,
that?
that one in Amsterdam was crazy though, because that JFK stayed there, and there
Yeah.
was all kind. There's actually like Templar armor on the inside of the building.
More
Like,
canals
on
that literally
display.
went right
What?
underneath the city that we showed, like more canals. And that was another one where they banned me. They banned me on that
Mhm.
live. I
Yeah.
So to go
Yeah.
back to the Templars and connecting it to something that I was just looking into, I've started learning a little bit more about Miles Standish. You guys familiar with him?
Nuh-uh.
Like he
No.
Tell
was
us.
well, you say he's big here in Massachusetts. So he was he was the captain or the military captain of the Mayflower, right? That's he was hired by the people of the Mayflower to basically be their military guide, and bodyguard basically on the ride over here and when they got here. And he ends up being, a huge like political hero as far as like colonial times were concerned. Like, he was the one that fought off all the natives, right? Like that's like what he was famous for. And like when you're growing up around here, like there's Miles Standish Monument, Miles Standish State Park, there's all kinds of different Miles Standish shit. But long story short, the last image I saw of him, I swear he was in Templar, like a Templar armor, like all, from head to toe, unmistakable. And I just found that interesting because it kind of fits the time frame and everything too.
I'm about to pull him up. Is this the guy right here?
Hold on.
This is right on par with everything Darren's been looking at lately with the armor too, Rob. That's wild that
Really?
you're bringing it up, dude.
I found
Seriously.
Roman
Yeah.
armor in Troy, and I had two
You said
lions
the
on the
armor.
chest right here.
Darren, that's instantly what I thought about, dude. Like talking about the armor.
Oh, I filmed. There was a church too in Mobile, Alabama. I remember they had the full on Templar shield like on the wall, bro. Like that was a real fucking shield. That thing was like it was probably 60 pounds. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was no joke. And it had the Templar cross right across. It was like they had like it as a wall decoration in the church. But that was legit. It was a real shield.
Look at this monument, Miles Standish Monument.
Oh, dude, yeah, I did a
Like
video of that
why?
place.
Looks like
Why
a
did that
Yeah.
get?
lighthouse.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
it
a
does.
hilarious story too. Like they built that like 4 years after the Civil War.
Is
Of
it
Like,
near
course.
and they,
water?
oh yeah, it's right on the coast, right on the
I'm
coast.
sure it is,
It's
of
called
course.
that's called Captain's Hill right there, where he's buried now. I forget what the Native Americans
Has to
called
have
it,
been
but
an
it was
old lighthouse then.
well,
That's what I
it's
think.
dude. I found ruins down like on the bottom of that hill, like that were basically just you could see were uncovered parts of like an additional part of the structure. Like it was all
Really?
built of the same stone, and those stones, dude, those stones were like 7 to 8 tons, some of them, and it's a stupid story. Like it was all built from Miles Standish. Supposedly, they threw it up in like 3 years, and the statue didn't go up for like 25 more years. That's the story.
Look
And you
at
can't even
this.
see the statue when you're
Look
there.
at this. It says a new head and shoulders for Miles Standish. You
Mm,
mean you
yeah.
took off the other head that was on it and
Right.
put a new head on it? That's what it
I
sounds
just
like to me.
learned. I just did a story on him how he tricked a couple Indian chiefs, like famous Indian chiefs in our area, into like a meeting under false pretenses and killed them and beheaded them, and then displayed their heads on poles outside of the on the borders of their territory to scare the natives. Not something we learned in history class when I was growing
No.
up. You
There's
know
a
what I mean?
couple of churches I went to and they got like pagan heads on poles sitting on the corners of the friggin' properties.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
And you saying that was just like,
Yep. No,
Yeah,
no.
Rob, like you do awesome work, dude, and everything that
Awesome
you do
work.
down there, bro. Awesome
Oh,
work. And I
I appreciate
hope that
that,
everybody
man.
that watches this follows you and watches your videos because you show amazing content and
He
amazing things
does.
and you dive into it, bro. Like, and I
I appreciate
appreciate your
it, man.
stuff a lot, dude. Seriously.
Boots on the
Thanks, bro.
ground. It's the best way to do
Yeah.
it. Y'all are sick with it. I mean, it really is cool that that's all in your backyard, you know.
Mm.
There's so much history.
I'm
That is
curious now.
awesome.
I want to know? Like, how did you get into it, Logan? And I want to know how Lance got into it, and I want to know how Darren got into it because I know how I kind of fell into it, but I'd
Meaning
love to
just
hear
the
it.
rabbit hole, the whole rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
like doing all this shit that we do now. You know?
Yeah. How'd I fall through the rabbit? Well, I mean, early on, it was the simple things, you know, the typical things that we all get into, 9/11 and stuff. I remember asking my dad, like, why wasn't the Air Force out or something? You know, like, why did we see like, you know, jets coming out and,
Mm.
you know, whatever. Telling the guy
Mhm.
to, you know, land or whatever it is. And he's like, I don't know, but that's a really good, you know, really good question. But just was always curious. I think what started it was definitely, was definitely 9/11. I mean, I hate to say it because everybody kind of says that, but, and then for this, like, I always was very curious about, you know, Europe and like how, like you watch on movies and there's these huge castles and then they say that, you know, the typical thing, that
Mhm.
these guys with, you know, no power tools and horse and buggy built them. And that always kind of stuck in my head, you know, it just always
Mhm.
stuck in my head. So when I found this rabbit hole, Tartaria kind of stuff, and I honestly hate saying that too now, but it's a generalized, you know, idea for a lost civilization, I guess, but it
Yep.
gets passed around a little too much. But once I saw that,
I
I was
always
like,
I
this
always
makes
explain it
way
as a
more sense.
metaphor. It's a
Yeah.
metaphor for a false narrative, is how I explain it. But yeah.
Yes. Yes. Correct. What about you guys?
Lance, you wanna go?
Uh, so honestly, for me, like, there's so much that goes into it, right? And what got me going is when I got sober, if I want to be honest with you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because I was all blinded and deeply programmed.
Go into that.
Mhm.
And
Go into that. Let's hear about it.
yeah, well, you know.
Sum it
But
up.
no, we
Sum it
all
up.
come from diverse backgrounds, and you know, I'm a combat vet, and I was a detective, a sergeant, and I did a lot of wild stuff with the task force, and there's a lot of trauma associated with that. And then when you get drinking and locked into the system, like, and you just so programmed, you don't even see. And I couldn't see until I got my health in check. And once I got my health in check, then I started seeing through. And I've always been one, dude. Like, Darren's ran into people with me, like people on the street, like that I've literally like
Yeah.
had at like
Yeah.
gunpoint and stuff.
Go.
Like,
Yeah.
and they come up and give me like bro hugs, dude, and ask how I'm doing,
Cool.
and they watch my lives and stuff.
That's
Like,
great.
That's awesome.
and
Mhm.
that's how
So
it's
great.
always been. But then, like when I got sober and got healthy, then I became even more outspoken because I found my confidence again. You know,
Mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then I've always challenged law because law was so subjective with my background. And then that really started pulling back the pieces. And I've always
Yeah.
been intrigued and curious, just like you guys. Nothing makes sense. And then, you know, really, just like you said, Logan, 9/11, bro. Like that
Yeah.
was so huge. That was when that happened. It was my first day of school in sixth grade, and I went to school in New York State. And so I was upstate New York. I remember that, 11 years old. And then I turned 22 in Afghanistan. And now, you know, when we find out that this is all a lie and a controlled demolition, and
Dude.
then you do the
Mhm.
deep, like, you want to talk about like,
I know. I can't even imagine.
and the amount
Mhm.
of my buddies that are aware and the amount of cops that like support what we're doing and because they're interested, they watch in the shadows, a lot of them, because there are
Mhm.
retaliation and all this nonsense with all these little wiener worshiping weirdos, you know, and they're
Yeah.
gang stalking and nonsense.
Yeah.
But
The frats.
you know, that really got it going, and then you start just pulling it back, and you have to have the eyes to see. But I don't want to make generalized statements. People have a tendency to lock themselves in their own beliefs. And when you do that, then you don't have the eyes to see. But if you can just look at it and literally, if you listen to what we're saying, we have no reason to lie, A, and we have all the receipts, B. So like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
and
Right.
so we can continue to listen to the same people that have been running things for far too long, that have lied to us continuously over and over and over again. Or we can look at all of us who are just everyday people that come from a diverse backgrounds, who are all very capable and intelligent, and we can give our 2 cents about it and show like all the patterns. And we can show like who created money, who is responsible for usury. You know, where did these families come from? The tribe of Judah, Khazarians, and phalluses, and like all this stuff, you
Yeah.
know, and the coin clippers, and you know. But
It's
Yeah.
funny how we all end up in the same place from different directions, though. You know what I mean? Like,
It
like
is.
we all took different ways to get there, but we always end up in the same spots.
You got to go through the
100%.
dark in order to find the light. You got to go through dark in order to find the light. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's just
Mhm.
it, Nobody just popped out, being this way. Like we went through hell. Darren, what about you?
Yeah.
What's kind of your background? I haven't really heard a whole lot
I mean,
about.
I grew up around Masons and Freemasons, and
Oh, I heard that part. Yeah.
so like my dad, he's a stonemason. So is my uncle and their father, and they built like a lot of and worked on a lot of structures, like from churches even to like the cemeteries. They built the Pennsylvania Cemetery and the Veterans Cemetery in Pennsylvania, and so just between my dad's side with the stonework and just like I went to school, I took architectural design and was doing
Oh, did you? I
blueprints.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
I would be 14 with like a book full of blueprints
Hmm.
for like all kinds of castles. My dad gave me a suitcase full of them, and I just would. That's what I was interested in growing up. I wanted to design
Of
buildings,
course.
and
Yeah.
then turns out that on the other side, my grandfather was a grandmaster for Albany and has ties to the Freemasons. So just growing up really around them and just being like, well, this ain't adding up. And then like you got family stories, you know what I mean, and stuff that gets passed down.
How come you didn't get into the Masons?
How do you know he's not? I'm just playing.
I guess
Because
I guess you're right.
I don't have it in me to just I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's a
have it from a different perspective. So when you hear like how they operate their order, some of the things they have to do, like when it like affects somebody's family, like you have a different perspective of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
some people come in and they don't realize like people's family members get widowed and stuff like that, and they don't realize like there's a grandchild, you know what I mean, or like other
Mm-hmm.
people in the family who like that was their relative, and they that doesn't go so easy over so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what's crazy just on the Mason thing is like, they seem to be the foot soldiers in the 19th century. Like that was out there maybe regulating things. I don't know, but like where I'm from, the one of the first buildings, and it's every city, it was a Masonic lodge. I mean, I was just looking at Waco, and they're like, the head Masonic lodge of Texas, and their first ones were just insane. But every town, big or small, always had a Masonic building, and it kind of
Mm-hmm.
just seems like, I'm not
It's
talking about
normally three.
your family or anything. What's
There'll be
that?
like a police station,
Yes,
then you'll have the fire department, you'll have a hall, and then wherever the ambulances are at.
right.
And it's those are like the three systems that they use to kind of navigate and control what their area, what you would call it, more or
Yeah,
less.
they just, to me, it seems like they were kind of the foot soldiers to keep the narrative going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Well,
Whether that's true or
Solomon
not, but
appointed chiefs, bro. Chief of police,
Yeah,
chiefs of
exactly.
fire department. Who controls the narrative, dude?
here you
The
go.
chief of
Yep.
police when they come in
The,
there, and then the Masonic systems, and then you have, and this is where I saw the layer upon layer. Nobody has accountability because everybody's just taking orders, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have layers of point men and point men and point men, and this is how they protect officials to this
Yeah,
day.
even
Mm-hmm.
their buildings are more or less assets to them, and that's why they'll go so far to protect the buildings and the corporate policies instead of the people, because the truth's in the buildings.
it is
Mm-hmm.
clearly, and I mean, your city, Darren, is the perfect one to show everybody that that's true. Here, I was going to show you. This is the second Masonic lodge in Waco after the first one burned. So this is number two. But I mean, look how You know, that's not suspicious at all, is it?
The
Nope.
pyramid up at the. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
That's
Come
come on.
on,
that's the
bro.
that's the thaumaturgic triangle, bro. That's what that is. That's what that's called. The triangle
What? That's the Royal Arc degree.
inside the circle.
Is
What is it?
so.
That's the Royal Arc degree.
What does that mean?
The Royal Arc Mason is just their logo.
Yeah,
Oh
that's the
no, I
main
know, but I'm
logo.
saying in sacred geometry, it's a thaumaturgic triangle. That's
That's
what
what
it's
you were
called. The
talking
triangle
about at the Emma
inside the
Willard
circle.
School.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hmm
isn't that wild?
It's
dude,
it's
that's
used
wild.
actually that shape is used in Wiccan practices to bind
Yes.
demons and bind their powers or control the powers of others.
That's wild. There's a
It's
lot that
also the
goes into
symbol of
shape.
AA. It's also the symbol of AA.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Because
Yep.
our buddy Bill W was a Freemason too, and
He
Dr. Bob.
definitely was. He
Bro,
definitely
Who?
was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's
The guy that started Alcoholics Anonymous,
yep.
Oh.
And
Bill
it
Wilson.
interesting to learn that. But Rob, what was your kind of beginning, like
Uh,
conspiratorial wise and maybe, lost civilization wise?
uh,
What was
so
your
I've
start?
I'm mine's kind of funny because like you guys kept talking about 9/11, right? And I was a freshman in college and when that occurred, and after that happened, I wrote a paper on the Patriot Act and why it was a good thing. Like that's how much like I've
Yeah,
changed.
changed. Yeah.
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 Like that was like one of many lifetimes ago in my experience. But honestly, for me, like the waking up happened during COVID. Like that's when I got sober too. Again, for like the last time. I had been trying since I was 32, and I got it in 2019 was when I started to figure it out. At the October 21st, 2019 is my sobriety date. I was a heroin addict or an opiate addict for like 10 years, heroin addict for like 5. And
I hear you.
it was yeah, it was, but it was COVID. Like I don't know, like I was sober for I don't know, about 6 months, 7 months at that time. I was living in sober living, and then usually that's when I'm the healthiest. Like I'm eating well, I'm going to the gym
Oh,
regularly. You know what I
dude,
mean? Like
yeah, of
doing
course.
the meditating, all that shit, like that we should do on a daily basis that I fail to do sometimes. But um, it was I don't think it was coincidental that it all happened at the same time for me. Like, and right at the beginning of 2020, and when all that shit with COVID started happening, and I was just I don't know, man. I just had a weird feeling from the very beginning of all that that it wasn't like a normal virus. I couldn't really put a finger on it, and then like the way the media was treating it and everything, and it just caused a lot of red flags to start popping up. I don't really know what it was exactly, but
Yeah.
um, that
It
was
was
when I
blatant.
really, yeah, dude. Like I just lost a lot of distrust. I lost all trust in like all institutions in a matter of like 6 months. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah, right.
from me like just like questioning the shit they were telling me, like just because I was using my own logical mind, being like that doesn't sound right to me. Like that's like someone ate a bat and now everybody's sick. Like what?
Yeah.
It doesn't make
Yeah.
any fucking
And they
sense.
show that they
And
show people in Wuhan like falling on the, you can like
yeah,
that's the first video they send out of Wuhan is a guy like walking and then just falling flat on his face. It's like
yeah, exactly.
that doesn't seem right, does it?
Yeah, no, it was just it all seemed so skewed, just like so, it was just so spun, dude. Everything was so spun, and like the more
Yeah.
I looked into the stuff, the more like the darker and like as they say, the more you peel back the onion, dude. Like
Yeah.
that shit just got worse and worse as we see with our research doing these videos.
Of course. Well, when they can make that many, V words in such a short amount of time for the Jabberwocky,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of suspicious. In what, 6 months? It was like 4 or 5, 6 months.
Yeah, and then the
There
way it
was
was they were
enough for
talking about
everybody.
it, like
Yeah.
I'm unvaccinated, and like I was called like a murderer on TV by people. You know what I mean? Like
Of course.
that was like the phrasing they were using, like, and it was totally normal for people. It was fucking
Yeah.
wild. Like it was like I was living in a twilight zone for a little while. Is what it felt like.
Oh yeah.
But that was like kind of my full, that was when I started to wake up, if you will.
Yeah, down here in Texas, nobody gave a fuck really, except for
Mm.
except for Austin. Um, are y'all got time? Y'all want to? I mean, we're gonna do this a lot. I hope y'all know.
Yeah, I'm
Y'all,
down, dude. Just
if
fun.
if y'all want to keep going or stop, I'm cool with either or. I've got the house to myself, dude. So, it's a party tonight for me. Uh, but yeah, do y'all have some more time or do y'all want to just end it there? It's not a big deal either way.
Hanging out. So
You good?
Yeah, I'm
do the
chilling. I'm chilling.
I'm
Okay,
chilling,
great.
What
bro.
time?
Great.
What time is it? I don't even
It's
know.
only 6:15 or
Oh yeah.
7:15 that way.
Yeah, we're good,
Okay,
dude.
good. We'll try to go another 45 minutes or so if that's cool.
Yeah, bro. I'm
I'm
chilling.
down.
All right, cool. Um, Rob, you wanna hit up this? I want to hear what you learned on the Boston fire. Of course, we all have fires in our state.
Mm,
Even the smallest city in your state probably has a fire, even if it's one, couple buildings, one building. But
hmm
go ahead
All
and
the mill
explain it.
towns.
Go ahead and explain it to like, how did it start? Because Mrs. O'Leary's cow in Chicago is how that one start, right?
Yeah.
Freaking Fort Worth is kids were playing with matches and it's just
mhm.
they blatantly do it, in your
The one
face and
in
it just
the one
goes,
in Springfield, but not to interrupt Rob, but one in
No,
Springfield,
go
they said
ahead.
a monkey knocked over an oil lamp.
no.
A
Dude, yeah,
monkey, that's
right?
the official narrative, dude. And I did like a 4-part series on going into that building because it was two like pantheons with a huge tower in the middle. If you look up the Springfield like Capitol, you know where that you have you been there, Rob?
I've been to Springfield, but not with my new eyes. I gotta go back out
Bro,
west.
that one is wild on both sides. And I went in at City Hall on one side and like a theater on the other. And then there's a tower in the middle. It looks like something the Pope would speak out of. And
Oh,
I
I know
went
exactly.
into it and it's wild. It's insane. But
Oh,
it
look
burnt
look at
down a
this thing.
monkey. Yeah, a
Look at
monkey
this thing.
knocked
Oh
over
my
an oil
God.
lamp, dude.
Dude, it's
Hold on,
just
I gotta
like
switch. I'm gonna switch
Colorado's,
off my
man.
Bluetooth there. Hold on.
It's just like Colorado's, except Colorado's is a golden dome. I mean, they're all very
No, that's
similar, but
Springfield, Illinois,
okay, what Springfield are y'all talking about?
Massachusetts.
Oh, okay, Massachusetts.
Springfield, Mass. City Hall, I think.
Okay, City Hall. Okay, got it. Oh yeah, okay. This right here?
Yeah.
Hold on.
It, I yeah, so there's two of those. There's one on either side, and then there's a huge tower in the middle. And that's and
Huge tower. Oh, right here. Yeah, look
dude,
at that.
it's absolutely wild. And they said the original one burned down with a monkey knocked over an oil lamp.
Oh my God.
And yeah, dude, I went inside of there.
Oops.
and burned
It's
it down.
yeah, bro. But
Was
Oh, damn
it's
it. Okay.
stone though?
no, that's the original one they said, and that's the one that they built to replace it. It's wild. It's
What was
two
it? The town hall? What was
City
it?
Hall, yeah,
City Hall. Okay.
Springfield. Yeah, and
Okay.
and again, a lot of these places that we go into, and I'm sure you know, like it's the same way down in Texas, and I know it is in Massachusetts, but we go to these places and they're not in good neighborhoods. And when I went live in Springfield, people were telling me like, "Hey, watch out!" You know, what somebody told me that their cousin got shot there. Like,
Damn. And then
yeah,
they have this. They
Oh,
have
yeah,
this.
that's
Springfield.
it right there,
Springfield's
bro.
dropped. My back. My headphone died. Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
Okay.
you're good, bro. Yeah, yeah, we can hear you
Oh, sorry.
fine.
Oh, my
Um,
bad.
yeah, isn't that funny? It's like the ghetto, and then there's these
Yeah,
Oh,
freaking
it's always.
monstrosities.
I've
Yeah.
noticed that Brockton, same way, dude. Like that's one of the roughest cities in Massachusetts, and it has some of the most beautiful architecture and some of the craziest sculptures and shit that you'll see around. Like
even
the
look
city
at
hall is
Taunton.
one of the yeah, Taunton, same deal. Fall
Yep.
River, all those towns, all the mill towns. Like that's what I've noticed. Like all the where they had all like the factories, like they built shoes. That was their thing. Brockton was shoe factories.
Dude, and then
And
that's the same exact thing that we're showing up here in like Cohoes and Harmony Mills. It's the same
mhm,
mercantile merchant system.
Yeah.
correct. Yep. And it's also a great cover for fucking an entire canal system that was existing when you showed up. Like
Exactly.
Absolutely.
to say that you built it for to a shovel factory, like the Ames brothers in Easton, Mass. That that was a rabbit hole I fell down. I'm still tumbling down that one.
Well,
Yeah.
yep,
But
yep. Peebles
Yeah.
Island, where we've been going live, like in Rensselaer County. That's Rensselaer County right there, ain't it, Darren? Peebles
Yeah,
Island.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, and that was the biggest shirt factory in like the country. Was on Peebles Island, but it was really Minamine's Castle. It was like a Mohican castle that was there,
yep,
That's no
and
yep.
longer there.
it's
It's
no
on the
longer
old
there.
map. It's
Isn't that
gone.
funny? Isn't that funny how you find that out? Like, do you know how many places I've been now that like Miantonomi Tower in Newport, Rhode Island was the former kingdom of Chief Miantonomi. And then there was what was it? JFK Memorial Park in Fall River, like not too far from there was shit. I forget the Metacomet. Chief Metacomet, or also you guys probably know him as King Philip, like during the King Philip's War.
King Philip's War, dude. Yep.
Yeah,
They had a
that was his
war.
kingdom.
They had a Mohican Indian, and his name in American like language was King Solomon.
Really?
Dude, he's like, I
I
swear,
don't
like I've
doubt
seen
that.
images of him, like in what was it, Paul Revere Jr. did a sculpture of him that I found an image
Yeah.
of, and I swear he was a giant. Like that's how it looks, bro. And like when you really zoom in on the image that Paul Revere Jr. sculpted this guy's got a dragon on his embroidered on his fucking belt.
Yeah.
Like,
dude.
why would he has all these animals like geese and deer and fucking bison and all that shit, and then all of a sudden you see a dragon. It's like, that's weird for a Native American to have on his
Yeah,
belt,
right.
right? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
kind of throws it off, doesn't it? So what
mhm.
was Chicago's story? Like, well, I mean, Chicago, Boston, like their fire
Oh, the
story. What
fire.
was,
I
yeah,
think honestly, it wasn't that interesting. It was kind of I want to say it was like they didn't narrow it down to like a specific event like Miss O'Leary's, cow or the
yeah,
monkey. It was like
yeah,
they narrowed it down to a street, I think is what it was. Like it was like a it was a factory of some sort. I think it had to do with a boiler, if I recall. And they blamed it on the rooftops of all these buildings being made of, wood. Because
of course.
the buildings themselves were fucking stone. You know what I mean? So it's like obviously fire's not going to jump building to buildings. Like it's all made of brick or granite. You know what I mean? And then when you start looking at those photos, bro, it's like none all the stone looks like it was blown up. Like that's literally what it looks like. If I was just if you just showed me those photos and ask me what I thought happened, I would have told you there was an explosion. And like there's no evidence of like burning. Like it's wild, really. And like it all happened in the 12-hour period, burned 65 acres of the city, like some major buildings, obviously. Um,
Yeah, look at this. This is like a castle. Was a castle.
oh, which
Dude, and
one?
that looks just like Troy when Troy burnt. Troy, New York, that we show all the time. Darren
They
and I
freaking
show.
all
Oh,
look the same. It's
so
crazy.
that
Dude,
one
it's
right
so
there.
wild.
I
Yeah.
think that's the is that the Trinity Church. So I didn't even know that Trinity Church in Boston now that Henry Hobson Richardson designed in the year after this fire, bro. Like they replaced that church with the Trinity Church that we know today, which is an absolute castle masterpiece. Like the sculptures in that place are insane. It's right in Back Bay, right across the street from the Boston Public Library, like right across the Common, which is another temple with the two big lions and all that shit. But yeah, that all these buildings, like that Trinity Church, I swear, like I found other photos, didn't look like it was touched, bro, like by the fire, and
Yeah.
they demolished it afterwards,
Yeah.
and that
Well,
was one
look
of the
at
ones.
this. Look at
Yeah, go
this
ahead.
photo. I mean, this looks like it looks fake to me. I mean, these stones are kind of in a perfect line, and then just the walls and stuff. You can tell a
Right,
lot on the roofs and all that. They just don't look right.
and like what?
Um,
Yeah, why
like
why are just those archways standing there? Like how did
yeah,
that happen?
yeah. It's confusing because like this
Look at all
even
that,
does like the stones look like they're two in order, honestly, or something.
right?
Um,
Look at all
but
the rock.
yeah,
Like how does that is that what happens when a fire takes over a stone building? I don't know. I've
And it
never
don't
seen
even
it.
look scorched. It looks whited
That's
out.
that's what
And
I'm
how are
saying.
they
Like you
even
zoom,
cleaning it up?
Right?
right?
exactly, exactly.
Oh, dude, they didn't have it just cleaned up. This place was an absolute just metropolis in like 2 years' time from after the Great Boston Fire, like 1875. Like they had like the new post office building, the new Trinity Church. They had the railroad station, the Providence Boston Railroad Station, all built within like 2 years' time. They were all fucking massive castles too.
Yeah.
So property loss of $60 million. I'm playing your video that you sent me.
Oh yeah.
776 buildings across 65 acres,
Hmm.
60 million lost. And then what did you say? It was all popped up again? Like all the infrastructure was back?
Some of the buildings that I found they built like within the 3 years after are some of the most beautiful, some of the still to this day in Boston, like the buildings that are there, like the Trinity Church, for instance, and the Providence Boston Railroad Terminal that they tore down like 40 years later for no reason. Look just like Union Station in Nashville. I think you and I talked about that place, but look just like it, dude.
So
And
what do y'all when you look at these photos and you hear the story, you look at the photos and some of them kind of look fake or just it doesn't connect very well, right? Obviously it
Mhm.
wasn't a fire. We know that much. But do you think that they make these fire stories so they can explain all this new architecture that was there? Like saying, oh, it was all erased, but we built this back up. Like, do you think some of the stories are fake? Because that's what I'm kind of getting at in some ways. But then other ones, I believe that there was some sort of, you know,
Oh,
destruction.
yeah, well, there's definitely destruction. I think that they strategically saved certain buildings, and then that's when they founded them, and they just put new cornerstones on them, or they knocked the
Yeah,
cornerstones
so
out and
like
Yeah,
put
if
in.
the building's like 2,000 years old, they'll just say it got burnt down and they had to rebuild it,
of
and they'll
course.
just change the date on the stone.
Yeah.
That's it. And so that fits the narrative. Then you have 65 acres and new places you can
Build
build like all
up.
the Freemasons want, because they have to destroy it and rebuild it to keep the Ouroboros going, the
Like
snake eating its own tail.
And then
I
who knows whatever evidence or artifacts that they collected,
Yeah.
during the demolition or whatever the fuck they were doing. Like, because, like in my experience, I feel like that's like one of the main goals for a lot of these places was like the collection of information and like the consolidation of information and the control of that
yeah.
information. Like, that's what
Yeah.
it seems like.
That's why a lot of times you can't find like paintings before a specific date. Like if the building was
hmm
built in the 1600s, you can't find paintings until like the 1650s.
Yeah, or
Uh,
books like published before 1920 in the
Yeah, yeah,
libraries or something.
Great
Like,
Fires of Alexandria. It's been going
yeah.
on forever, and
Yeah,
they
mhm,
exactly.
purposefully
mhm.
gather all this stuff. They consolidate it, and then there's a mysterious fire, and it all
That
disappears.
was was that the library? Was that the Alexandria? Was that the massive library that burned in
Yep.
back
Didn't
in
it?
the
Caesar
Didn't
1800s,
burnt.
right? And like
Caesar burnt it,
and
supposedly.
supposedly like 90% of the shit's in the basement of the Vatican
Well,
from
yeah, between the
some of the
Vatican and the
conspiracy.
Smithsonian, which the Smithsonian's getting spanked around in federal court right now, which is pretty awesome. So we should have some giant
I
bones on the
saw
table.
that. I saw that. What
Yeah.
is
Wait,
going
why?
on? Do
I
you
haven't
know
heard
what
this.
do you know what the info is on that? I just randomly saw that the other day. Like
So
what are
do
they?
you guys know Iron Ed? He's on my lives all the time, the dude from Hawaii.
No, I haven't seen
I've
them.
seen him. I've seen
I
him on your
do,
show.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Iron Ed's awesome, and he follows all these cases. He's not like a creator or anything, but he always, when he's on there, he follows all these cases. He came on to my live, or Darren and I were live. He came on and told us a story about when he saw Sabe, a Sasquatch, and like this whole story about how it looked like
Oh,
Harry and the Hendersons and stuff. But
No
nice.
shit.
he's a wicked cool dude, and he's been, because we talk about the Smithsonian all the time, but they've been sued a bunch, and there's politicians, obviously, but they're actually acknowledging the fact that the Smithsonian's covering up bones. And so that's what
Hmm.
this is all about, because
Wow.
there's more than ample enough evidence. There's thousands of articles that were publicized in the 19th
So
century.
many.
All
So many
about
No,
the
wait.
newspapers.
Smithsonian showing up and the bones disappear, and then the
Yeah,
Smithsonian being like, "What are you talking about?"
No,
Like,
yeah.
wasn't I thought the Smithsonian like isn't that like or wasn't it part of the government at one point though? Like
it's
they
directly, yeah, it's supposed to be, but it's linked directly
right?
to the Vatican.
No,
You know,
yeah, because like have you ever
Of
seen like the
course.
origin of like how we got like ownership of it? Like it's pretty fucked up. Like the one like surviving son or whatever, like none of the Smithsons who we got these like the money, all their wealth and buildings and shit, none of them ever stepped foot on American soil. Like and like I forget like what happened, but like there was some weird thing in like the will that like it was left to the United States government, like if like his son didn't have a male heir or some shit. Like
mm,
that's how it was written. And like it was just none of it made any fucking sense, dude. Like and like all like, you're just gonna give all of your wealth to a country you've never been to.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like when I heard that story, it was wild. But anyway, I
it
didn't mean
was
to
the same
interrupt.
thing. The dude that went around, and he was one of the lead researchers. He had accumulated a giant private collection, and when he died, it all got taken sent to the Smithsonian. Like he donated
Mm.
it to them, and
Of
so
course.
yeah, so Ed talks about like a lot of these cases, but the Smithsonian one's been coming up. So I mean, the thing is that there's all this stuff that's happening, and then the same people suppress those stories. So then you talk about it, and you're like, no way, they're not talking about giant bones in the federal court system. Like, yeah, they are, bro.
Mhm, mhm,
You know, like
mhm.
Yeah. The first thing that popped up was Trump complains Smithsonian too fixated on how bad slavery was. Did the Smithsonian destroy thousands of giant human skeletons? Here, let me share this real quick. This is interesting. Like it's all coming in. Like I have
Have you
hundreds of
guys seen the
articles.
display that was in Spain?
Nuh-uh.
I was just looking for it. I just screenshotted it like 2 days ago. I don't know if it's gonna pull up on the thing.
You can
You
you
can
can
see
you can
it.
text it to me. Oh, what the?
Yeah,
Are
I'll
those
send it to you right
skulls?
now. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh
buddy.
yeah.
and you know, I have hundreds of articles that talk about the Smithsonian came and picked it up. And the Hay Foundation, that's another one. Came and picked up the bones and then they were never
I
seen
think that
again.
isn't that the dude, the Hay Foundation. He's the one that he worked with the
Yes,
Smithsonian when he died. That they took his private collection or whatever.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
believe that is. Yeah. And it's just those two. It's not anybody else, you know, with the government. It is just those two with all the giant articles I have. It's very interesting.
Well, they even
Huh.
got involved with like some of the excavations that were going on in Mexico and stuff. Like archaeological sites where literally they got intimidated by people with firearms. You know, and this was like in
Hmm.
the 70s and the 80s, and the Smithsonian was involved with that. You know,
Yep.
like it's so deeply rooted in the corruption.
Oh,
It
they were
is.
weren't they involved in the shutdown of the Grand Canyon too? I think like
Yeah, dude,
when
you
they shut
can't.
all
There's
that
so
down.
much stuff you can't do nothing in the Grand Canyon
You
anymore.
can't even fly a
No.
drone
Yep.
over
No,
shit. Yeah,
and like
and that was
it's
all after
how
that guy's expedition. I thought he had something to do with the Smithsonian. Like they sent him out there in like 1918 or something. Like, and he found the cave system.
yeah, and they publicized articles about all the
Mm-hmm.
Egyptian artifacts, and then
Yep.
literally these are publicized, and then the
Yep.
Smithsonian says no, that never happened. Like,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
all these legit researchers publish it, but then you come in after
Mm-hmm.
the fact, like
Oh
get
yeah,
out
and
of
then
here.
and just by chance, the government's going to shut down access the next year. Just by coincidence.
Exactly, it's literally the Temple of Isis. It says it on the map and the Grand Canyon, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, why'd they name it that? Like, oh, just to coincidentally. Like, no,
Mhm.
dude, it's right,
Yeah.
literally right next to the Sphinx
There's
that got
other
flooded
ones
out.
too in there too. Other temple
So
names too.
Yeah,
now
Darren's
I
done a
think
bunch. You've done videos about that, Darren, the
I was
Grand
just going to
Canyon.
ask him. Like he's done a bunch on like temples too, to the goddesses. I've heard him talk about specifically, right? Like temples being like
Yeah.
built for like Isis or
Hmm.
Anan or whoever, whatever goddess you're referring to.
Ishtar.
Is it always Isis? Because I thought Isis and Ishtar were the same, one and the same. No.
It's pretty much it's Isis, Ishtar, Inanna, Sin, Selene. They all get grouped into like the same female
Okay.
goddess.
Yeah.
There'll
Yeah.
be
Yep.
different names in each culture. So the
Yeah.
Roman, you know what I mean? The
Yep.
Greeks, the
Hmm.
Hindus, they'll all call them each goddess a different name, but
Yep.
it's the same, I don't know,
Okay.
entity
And then
goddess.
So was Solomon building the temples for them,
That's
or
what I
is
believe.
Is
That
it
he
no? That's
started
not. No,
building them when
I'm trying to understand what you were saying
he
on your
built the
video.
temple for Moloch in the Bible. Like right after almost he built the temple
Is
for
this
God.
real? Is this
That's
real,
what I'm
Darren?
saying. I came across it and I couldn't find any other
Wait,
articles on
what?
it or information. They said this was on display in Spain.
That
Is
looks
that a
human.
face? Is that a
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
face?
supposed to be giant bones.
I mean, that dude. I mean,
I mean, I believe that that was a thing, but for them to put it out there, you know, it's like that's wild.
it just
That is
seems like
Is
there's
that
so
just
much.
another sign? Is that just another sign that it's the beginning of the end, dude? Because I've been seeing more and more the veil, like their power is fucking the power shift has occurred. You know,
Well,
absolutely.
I don't even think they have any power left. It's just a
no.
that's what I'm
matter of
saying.
time.
That's what I mean. Like they're
Just
scrambling
dragging
now.
it out. Yeah, it's just
They
getting
don't they
dragged
don't
out.
have a
Yeah.
they don't have a plan B, bro. Like they didn't plan ahead for this.
No, no. It's a symbolism, and just like what you're talking about with the goddesses, it's the same thing for the gods of the Elohim with Zeus and Jupiter, and then
Mm-hmm.
Kronos, Saturn, all that kind of thing. But it's all the different
Mm-hmm.
cultures talking about the same person.
Mm-hmm.
You've
Or
seen
Oh
they
yeah.
those.
view it as like each god or deity would represent like a force in nature.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, yeah.
But
I've done a lot of digging, like more so like into like the Celtic side of things. Like I fell down
Yeah, same thing.
yeah,
Yep.
like the
yeah.
Tuatha De Danann
Yeah, yeah,
rabbit
dude.
hole for a
The
while.
druids. Yep.
Which
I've been
I think I'm a long lost relative of, because my mother's name is O'Toole, which actually in Gaelic is O'Tuath, which means of the Tuath, which is pretty cool.
My first
you know
name
Um,
is
anything about
Blake.
the
Yeah,
Pict people?
yeah, the
I've just
pigs. Yep.
yeah, just
Yeah.
starting to learn about it. Yep.
Bro, the Picts. I've been down that. I obviously there's a reason. Probably why we're all thinking the same thing. But
Mm-hmm.
the painted Pict people in Scotland, they fought against the Roman Empire and held them off in their prime. And
Mm-hmm.
the Picts, they had civilizations 4,000 people on each hilltop.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh
They're
yeah.
they're crazy to look at too. Like look at and there's a lot of old photos of them standing exactly like this. I mean, you'll see some of the American Indians
I was
that
just gonna
you
say
like.
that looks like a native.
like
Well,
the
that's what
full,
the Picts they say, Darren. Those are the native people of Scotland. That's what, and they
Mm.
had darker skin, just like the
Yeah.
Irish.
yeah,
Mm. Yeah,
yeah,
so the Tuath, I don't know if you know the story, like the Tuath De Danann, they were like a magical people that showed up on a floating cloud to Ireland, and like they ruled Ireland
yeah,
before oh shit. There was actually, so it's a real people, like that was a real group of people that actually conquered the Tuath while they were there. They ruled for hundreds of years, and like supposedly they were forced underground, and
Yeah.
they were described as having like red hair, pale skin, or whatever. And I don't know if you guys remember like the whole gingers are black like trend that was going on in TikTok.
Yeah.
But
Have
like
Darren talk about that.
there was a
Yeah.
lot of info going on about that shit, and like
yeah,
I learned a
dude,
lot about it, dude. And
Yeah.
yeah,
like there's a lot to it, man.
there is.
Like did you know that gingers are the only ones that produce their own vitamin D? Like if you
No,
were living underground, wouldn't you have to do that? If you know what I'm saying? Or if
Their
you,
melanin gene is literally shut off, and that's why their hair is red. And
that's
sometimes they sit in
yeah.
the sun, you'll see their freckle spots, their sunspots will pop out.
Hmm.
yep,
That's what the freckles are too. Like that's
Yeah,
evidence of
they're
that's like
blinks of
like
melanin
yeah.
coming
Yeah.
through.
All
It's
my
just a
Yeah.
gene.
Hmm.
freckles
Hmm.
everywhere, all
Like
over. And then you can see
how
it's
else would you
all.
get that? How else did you get that adaptation? I know I'm going down another rabbit hole here, but
I
you
think
keep
it
going,
happened
man.
with like
Let's
they're
go.
playing with the genes all the way back to Egypt when
know.
they were
There
splicing
you go.
DNAs and stuff,
Yeah,
DNA and
no,
stuff like that.
that could be it too. That could
Well,
be it too.
we seem like a different people than, these lost civilizations we talk about. I mean, I feel like it's
Hmm.
happened multiple times. I don't, I mean, you go back and think about, you know, buildings not having toilets or restrooms and stuff like that. I know that's an
Hmm.
etheric type of thing we all think about, but, wouldn't that change people's, physique and all this kind of stuff? Obviously it did because of the giants, but yeah, very interesting. The Tuatha De Danann they talk about were actual like magicians. I mean, they could
Have
do
you
Hmm.
some
heard of the
crazy
Mandan
magic.
tribe? They were the
Yes.
supposedly the
Yeah,
pale skinned blue Indian. They could see at night.
Yep.
yeah,
The
and like
South
that. So
Carolina, I think.
the tribe of Dan, I think, was like is where people like kind of linked the Irish to being like some people claim was like the third or the like one of the tribes of Israel, like the original
So
tribe.
Yeah.
I found
Yes.
an article. It was by the Cherokee chief. He wrote to the governor of Tennessee how that they were brought to America by white men on boats, and when they got brought here, that they ended up fighting against a bunch of natives that were red hair giants.
Mm.
And it said right in the article that those were the ones that were building forts. They were building them to fight against the Cherokee.
Like the
Mm.
Lovelock Cave giants that were redheaded and
Well, those
uh
Yeah, the
ones were
Giants are always
cannibals. I know
redheaded.
what you're talking about, Logan. But
yeah.
there were, so it's funny because Rob, like both down in South Carolina, before I went to South Carolina, somebody reached or contacted me and shared a bunch of stuff about red-haired and blonde-haired, fair-skinned giants around South Carolina that raised deer.
Yes.
Hmm.
I made a video on that actually.
I
What
saw
are they
that.
called?
Yeah.
Dang it. I can't
It was
think of
all
what they're
around South
called.
Carolina, and they're Gaelic tribes. They said,
Yeah,
it's like
Hmm.
going back to the same Celt
Yeah.
picked, the
That's why
red
Yep.
you have
hair.
the lumberjacks all with their plaid on, with red
Yeah.
hair,
Mm.
bigger than everybody, with their axe.
Yep.
they
Yep.
found like the carvings on rocks and stuff. I guess the ogum or whatever it's called. Um, of those of that people in South Carolina and Georgia, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Well,
Trying to
so
find which one it
to go to
was.
the Smithsonian, what Darren's talking about, lumberjacks, like Paul Bunyan, he had
Hmm.
two rows of teeth, and they said he had a gigantic head and got in bar fights all the time, and they were based off a real person. And when he
Hmm.
died, he was murdered, and his head was put on display in a museum because it was gigantic and had double rows of teeth. They said he could bite holes out of bar stools and bar fights.
What?
And bar
What?
rooms. Paul Bunyan, no, seriously, and he was like this French logger. He got in a bar fight with this dude they called Moose that was supposed to be like a mountain of a man, and that was the only time that the Paul Bunyan dude had ever lost a fight. But
Wow.
he got stabbed, and they
Where
put
was
his skull
Babe? Was it
skull.
Babe the blue ox? Was it
Yeah,
Babe the blue
no, yeah,
ox?
and
Yeah.
they put his head on display, double rows of teeth. That's what they talk about a lot with Nephilims. It was on display for years, and
Yep.
then they reopened the investigation mysteriously, and they came and took the skull, and nobody knows where it is now.
Hmm.
But it was
Interesting.
all documented, and like this is all real story, and that's where the legend of Paul Bunyan came from, as a real Frenchman lumberjack. Frenchman
Hmm.
Wow.
lumberjack. Yep.
That's a rabbit hole.
No,
That is
Yeah.
seriously,
a
bro.
I fell down the
yeah.
I fell down the two-out thing when someone I think it was that some woman mentioned Bridget, the goddess Bridget from who was from the Tuath like pantheon of gods or whatever. And how she's also like she's now, we know her as Saint Bridget in the Catholic Church, Bridget of Kildare. And like she has like an eternal flame that she has like that there were priestesses that like guarded with their lives pretty much. And they basically what happened was like the Catholic Church couldn't convince these people to like stop worshiping this goddess in this temple with this eternal flame in Kildare. So they just called it their own and like adopted her as a saint. And that's where we got Saint Bridget. But Bridget is also in the voodoo, is in voodoo, like their pantheon of gods. So she's known as the only red-haired, pale-skinned goddess of the voodoo pantheon of gods, I guess.
Interesting.
That's how they're all connecting. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Well, Darren shows it all the time in the stained glass with
I
the
was just
blonde and
gonna
red
say
haired
that
giants.
down
Yeah,
in
like,
Albany, some of the
Uh-huh.
bigger churches they look like they're bigger than what like humans would be,
Mhm.
proportionated in the windows, and they all have red hair.
Dude,
And
George
they're dressed
Washington
up
was a
with
giant.
yeah,
I just learned
yeah. He was big.
6'4", redhead
What
with
was
donkey teeth.
what was
That's
the
what Shane Gillis
churches?
said.
The one's not even a church, it's the Oakwood Cemetery in the back, hidden
Oh,
on the hill
Oakwood.
it's facing, and it doesn't even look like they're saints. It looks like they're Greek gods. Like they look huge.
Then to go
It
even
sounds-
further with it, like the
sounds like the
blue eyes
forefathers.
thing, Darren taught me that it all goes back to a single ancestor with it.
The
Whoa.
blue eyes.
Even Saint
Yeah.
yeah, all blue eyes have common ancestor.
What about green?
Same thing.
What about
It's a-
green?
Yeah,
thing?
if you have like a gray eye, like the gray ice around your eye, like near your
Mm-hmm.
pupil, if it's gray in there, supposedly that's supposed to like get your melanin gene kicked off or turned off, and that's why we're more pale skin.
Mm.
So legit like
Yeah,
albino
I'm very
stuff.
pale.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. I'm big time pale. Yep. hmm
That's great. So I was
Even in
trying to
St.
pull up.
Peter's on State Street in Albany, they have giant gingers inside.
Oh,
I think
dude,
I got a few pictures.
every Disney movie, they have like I swear, all like the heroes are always redheads or the chicks,
They are.
like,
Or
the
the bad
magical
guys.
chicks, or the bad guys. They're always redheads. They always play a
Yeah.
role, like a major
Yeah.
role in all of their films.
It is. Well, we've learned what clowns actually were, right? You know?
No, what?
Uh,
No.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
we're
lost over here.
what's that?
What do you mean?
Clowns are the Nephilim? You know, you've seen that guy that on YouTube. He's
They
got a
say
No.
bunch
that.
of he's got a
Yeah.
bunch of research on that. Yeah, that clowns were actually, transformed into what they are today from what the Nephilim looked like.
Wow.
Paul Stobbs.
The red
That's
hair
why
and
we're
all
all
that.
so. That's why we're all so terrified of them. Just,
So like
Yeah,
the movie It was like a
subconsciously.
Nephilim in the freaking canal underneath.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
Well,
It's
killer clowns from outer space, they were all giant clowns.
You
ever
guys seen
that
the movie It? How they have like the tunnel underneath, and it's like
Of
this little
course.
sanctuary.
Of course.
That was in Maine. That was all.
It's all in Maine, yeah, New England, and the tunnels, dude.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of Maine, like I went to college up there, and like I just like we were talking about like looking at things for a second time, and I forget why, but I was looking at like a picture of the Museum of Art on my college campus came up, and like that is like, clear as day what you guys would term as a Judah temple or a temple of the tribe of Judah with the two massive lions out front. It's got like the big bronze, temple dome over it, and I never noticed it when I went there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Just
of course.
never batted an eye the whole time I was there.
We're looking at every inch of everything, and anything that looks like it's ancient or a little bit old,
Mhm.
Well,
taking
dude,
pictures.
how much stuff have you found in the woods, bro? I've found some wild stuff in the woods that makes zero sense
All the
whatsoever.
time.
All the
Usually when I go
time.
to like those
What's the
big
guy's
state parks
name?
and shit, like always. Yep.
Darren, you interviewed one of the guys that's in the Northeast, that always is walking through the woods showing different artifacts, he says.
Is that Beal? That Chris Beal?
Yeah,
Beal?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
him. He's always finding some crazy
Yep.
stuff up there. Have y'all actually looked out, in those areas he's at?
I've gone down
Ray's
there
met with him.
twice.
Okay, did you?
3 times. Yeah, I've
Really?
stayed
I
with him
missed
like
that.
Yeah, you
so
did a
I have
live
a
with
bunch
him,
of
I think, or a couple episodes, right?
Yeah, I did a few with him, but we went into the tunnels, and that was around the Morris Canal. And then there's a lot of like huge stacked boulders up on top of a couple of these mountains.
Mm.
And then there's a
Mhm.
lot of giant stuff. And Chris, like, dude, there's so much corruption in New Jersey. And Chris literally found tunnels. And dude, the judges are in on it, the police are in on
No.
it. It's all
Oh yeah.
masons and stuff. And that's where
Mhm.
Chris and I kind of connected. He kept, we were talking back and forth, and I went down and met up with him. And like, he's found a lot of giant stuff, dude. And New Jersey is corrupt.
Mhm.
There's
Covering
a
up, just
dude.
covering up everything. I mean, is he trying to get it out there and they're blocking him or what?
Chris has contacted everybody about it, and the
Hmm.
problem is that like these systems are so corrupted that who do you report it to before you
Yeah.
actually
Didn't
get
you
it
say that
through?
he tried to report it and they showed up at his house the next day and arrested
Yeah,
him or something like
yeah.
that?
They end up taking him to the hospital because Chris
What?
found he drilled into this tunnel and put a scope down there, and like he found like
He's awesome, dude.
Like, you're
yeah,
not
and he
Yeah,
found
disproving
dude.
like
it.
what he found to be like human remains. And regardless of anything, Chris has found some stuff in there that's ancient, and they can say
Oh
whatever.
god.
And
Mhm.
you know he reported it to the police. He recalled the coroner. The cop showed up pissed off and took him to the hospital for like a psych evaluation.
No, my
You,
God.
dude, like hardcore. And Chris like had his own, don't want to speak for him, but had his own business. Like he was like
I'm pulling up his page so we can shout him out right here because he does have some cool shit.
Yeah, he's found a lot of cool shit.
he
And he's
does.
the
And
one that
Chris is a
like was he the one
genuine
that
dude. And
He
same
seems
guy.
like it. He seems like it.
So
Yeah.
he
was he
got
the
me with the
Pudding
Lenni
Stone?
Lenape tribe, which is a giant tribe, and he took me to where they were undug. They were like they literally dug up 28 Lenni Lenape skeletons, giant skeletons, when they were doing this church. And that picture of him by the obelisk, that might be like one of where it was. But Lenni Lenape, and that's who got me learning about that kind of stuff. Chris Beal, and he knows a lot of history, especially when it comes to the canals and all this other stuff as well.
Yeah,
Was
like
he
look
the
at
one,
this
Lance? Was he the
still.
one you said told you Pudding Stone was the holiest of stones?
Yep, yep. And dude, there's
He was,
whole
right?
mountains of that stuff, Rob. And like, I still
Yeah.
haven't posted the videos. I have videos of like whole stone fortresses built the pudding stone.
Oh, dude, that's like all I've been filming lately. It's like
Yeah,
everywhere.
no, dude,
It's
absolutely.
fucking wild.
And the
It doesn't
pudding
make any
stone
sense.
is if it keeps getting compressed, that's what turns into quartz.
Hmm.
The
I
pudding
don't.
stone.
So,
The heck's a
do you
pudding
think it's
stone?
like the? Do you think like the origin story of Pudding Stone is real though? Because I don't know if I buy that. Like they just say like these rocks like over time just like produce their own adhesive and like
Yeah,
or like mortar and like mortar themselves together in what looks to be ancient fucking concrete, and they're all like different types of rocks. Like, and I've seen them like fall
conglomerates
out.
and
You know what I mean?
yeah.
They fall out, and it looks like there was mortared in there. Like someone like splattered it on with a fucking trowel and slapped that thing in there, and then fell out. Like I see that, you know what I mean? You see like the holes like in the actual like rocks and stuff, and
Yeah.
it
Well,
doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if I buy it.
so
Well,
Darren, pudding stone's like that purple. It's like purple, almost quartz. Sometimes it has little chunks
Mm.
of quartz in it. Like
I'm
in
Yeah, it
pulling
has
around
up.
Lake
everything in it.
Michigan, there's a lot of it around Lake Michigan, but there's a lot around New Jersey.
A
And
ton around me too. Ton
yeah, it's
around
all
me,
around.
all over Mass.
It looks
It's
like
Yeah,
like
look at this.
concrete.
Look at this
It
shit.
Yeah,
it
it
That
looks
dude.
like
looks like
well,
concrete.
some
I
of
see. I
it, some
think
of it will, and then there's
I
like
think
different colors of
yeah,
it.
look at this one
yeah,
right here.
yeah.
Yep,
Wow.
And
the
like
maroon pudding stone.
the
Yeah,
coincidence factor is pretty large though with that shit because like I
yep,
always film it at the structures I go to
yep.
film. Cemeteries, churches are always built on top of it. And like I was talking to my buddy about it, like if you were like tasked with a job to go pick a spot of land to bury bodies for eternity, are you gonna pick a fucking mountain of rocks? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
why would you pick on top of a fucking ledge to dig graves for eternity? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yet they did that over and over and over again. And like I think that might be evidence of like one of those meltdown events or something that happened.
Yeah,
Like,
meltology. I was gonna
yeah.
mention Stellium 7 on YouTube. He talks about the rapid petrification,
Yeah, yeah.
giant trees and all that stuff. That is a
Because the
channel
shapes of it
to
too.
go. Yeah, I mean it's pretty obvious in some ways, and even the articles I found. I mean, they talk about, a petrified boot, a petrified hammer,
Hmm.
and he actually really is, kind of going down that a lot of this stuff, even parts of mountains, and I mean, you think of Devil's Tower is a tree. They're giant trees. I mean,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
Devil's Tower just it looks like a tree. It doesn't look like anything else, but
Did you guys see
Um,
the one about how there's a tree in the Washington Monument?
Yeah, dude. That's
what?
wild, Rob. Yeah.
What?
Uh-huh.
And there's probably one in Bunker Hill too. I
Well,
wouldn't
the
doubt it.
Bennington Monument. I mean, I know there's not one in the Bennington Monument, but there's just so much stuff with these obelisks, dude. There's
Mm.
the
Here's
trees.
here's Devil's Tower. Look at, I mean, that's a tree stump. That's
Yeah.
clearly
Yeah.
a
Oh,
tree
yeah, yeah.
stump.
Yes. Yep. Hmm.
That was
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the theories I heard that caused the flood is that all the
Yep.
giant trees got cut down at the same time and water shot out.
Water shot out at the
Mm.
bottom. That's actually Steve Falconer's too. And it's a really good, I mean, it's,
That makes
it's a really
sense.
good theory.
Makes
Um,
sense.
Where does the
and
water come from? Darren and I were just talking about this again the other day. Where
the
does
abyss,
all the water come from, bro?
the abyss.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then, like Giant's Causeway, that's another one
Oh,
that,
that's Ireland, right? Northern Ireland, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. And, they say
Yeah,
that
it
it
looks
was
like
like,
steps.
oh, yeah, they say it's like a slowly, slowly cooled volcanic stuff.
Yeah, and
But
they're all
look
like
how
perfect
Yeah.
perfect.
hexagons.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I mean, that's part of
Hmm.
a tree, clearly to me, but
So there's an ancient story I read about this about like that the Celts told, and about it was about two giants that fought, and that was how that got built. It actually connects, I think, to Scotland. So like, or you can see it like if you like were to look from an aerial, there's like remnants of it, or whatever, and like you can, I guess, a giant technically could cross the ocean via that causeway, and that's where it got its nickname.
That's
Giant's Causeway.
interesting.
Look at
It looks
this.
like it
Look at
almost
that.
grew up from the ground
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like
Hmm.
a
in like
grew
a
like a
perfect
crystal.
fractal pattern. Yeah.
It is. It's perfect. And they just say it's like, volcanic activity. What lava doesn't ever look like this. Lava is
No,
just a big
no.
mess of lava. But yeah, isn't that
Yep.
interesting? Yeah, go
Hmm.
check out Stellium 7. I have binge watched him on YouTube and it's very fascinating. But the giant tree thing I feel like is something that's true. And I mean, people were big, why wouldn't, everything
Hmm.
else? And not long ago, I mean, like Steve Falconer on his theory of how the flood happened. I mean, he's talking about 4,000 years ago or something, 3 to 4,000 years ago, which, you know, especially if everything could, and a plasma storm on top of that. That's where kind of the rapid petrification comes from, are these huge
Hmm.
plasma storms. A volcano starts spitting out its smoke and all that, and plasma storms start to happen and petrify everything, and even
Well,
open up the
I,
Grand Canyon is
I was
supposedly
just going to
what they.
Hmm.
mention that we have actual basalt rocks and like lava rocks in like Saginaw Lake in upstate New York where that
What
town's buried. There's basalt rocks. It's from lava cooling fast, and there's no volcanoes
what about
Anywhere.
Stark's
over
Knob?
here, and it's all burnt out. Like I've been there in person, and the rocks literally look like they're burnt.
Remember, Darren, you and I went to Stark's Knob in Schuylerville. It's a
Yep.
volcanic rock. Makes no sense. It's
No,
just
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yep. And it's huge.
literally. And I got fired up reading the history because it's like this whole placard at the very bottom. It's like unconfirmed local reports that this was a fort. Like, okay, so here's the truth. But it was
Yeah.
Hmm.
literally it's
That
literally a giant molten rock, dude, in Saratoga County,
and that makes me
next
think of the one in Troy we walked on. That could have very well been.
100%, Darren, because we in the city of Troy, Darren and I literally walked up on this melted rock that's in the middle of the
And
city, and
they built
it's
around it.
it's like
What?
200 feet tall. I'm not
Yeah.
even
It
kidding.
overlooks
Like,
the whole city. You could start, and it's right in front of two of the churches, the Baptist church, the firehouse, and it overlooks the river. You can see up to St. Peter's.
I'm trying to
It
find
doesn't
that.
even make sense. And so it literally looks just
Oh,
black
yeah,
burnt rock.
here it is. It says giant rock sandwiched between two buildings in at Morningside Heights. Is that it?
I don't know if it's happening. Could
No.
be.
it's Troy, New York. Is that Troy?
I typed in Troy, New York, huge rockin' city. I mean, it's jammed in between. Oh, that's New York cities because I bet so, because they have similar stuff.
It's like a
It's
huge solid. I mean, it
Is
I
it?
doesn't
can get
make
it on
any.
Google Earth. I don't know the exact name of the street.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, New York's is I think this is maybe New York's, but um they've got buildings on top of these freaking rocks.
New York City is absolutely wild, bro. I went to the Brooklyn Museum with Chris Beal. I drove to Brooklyn. Chris Beal and I went into the museum. I got a bunch of content from there. Wild stuff in the
Oh, I
Brooklyn
bet.
Museum. And then we went to
Bet.
there was a cemetery right behind the Brooklyn Museum. It's gigantic. And I literally didn't even make it like 300 yards past the front gate. And there was a Battle of Brooklyn that happened in the cemetery. There were literal pyramids inside the cemetery. It's behind the Brooklyn Museum, right in the middle of the city. Then that giant arch, Darren, that you showed that's in Brooklyn, that is right in front of the Brooklyn Museum. And then the Brooklyn Free Library. Look up the Brooklyn Free Library, Logan. You want to talk about symbolism, buddy? There's Freemason squares. It's all in gold. It is wild. The Brooklyn Library, right next to the museum. New York City is insane.
New York, I've only been for like 4 hours because I flew there for work, and yeah, just a little bit I got to walk around. Is this the actual museum you're talking about?
Yeah, dude. And that
Look
door
at the
is,
door. Look at the
dude,
door.
it's,
What
bro,
the?
and so you're looking like that doorway. I'm 6 foot tall. I look like an ant. And literally there's Molochs on top.
Owl. Yeah.
Bro, there's literal Freemason squares. There's a dinosaur in it, like
That's wild.
long
right
neck
here.
dinosaur.
Right here. Yeah, right
Yup.
here. Yeah.
Dude, there's so much. If you can find the other pictures, there's literally like 2 different Freemason squares, and one of them Darren pointed out was like Solomon's Square or
Like
something,
The
or,
Seal of
Nimrod's.
Solomon,
Yeah,
or the Tabernacle of Moloch.
yeah.
Is it all inside or outside mostly?
It's right in that doorway, dude. Like
It
that
might
gold.
be up some on that pillar. It shows the inside of it.
You guys saw the one I did on the Boston Public Library that had Moloch on the like the big mural. They call it dude, that's a fucked up painting. You should pull that one up. It's at
What
the
is it?
Boston Public Library. It was done by oh shit, I forget the guy's name, but he was the Rothschilds. Like he was like their family portrait artist. That's all he did was family portraits, like the
Look at all
Rothschilds
this
and
shit.
like
Oh,
others.
I did see you. Yes, I did see your
And
video on
did
this.
he did the mural at the Boston Public Library, and it's called "The Triumph of Religion," and it literally is the story of of basically what looks to be Enki and Enlil, and then there's Moloch's on there, Isis is on there, Osiris, all of the above.
Look at
Like, and
this.
they're all in the same painting. It's
Is that
fucking
it?
wild. Yeah,
Is that,
and it almost
yeah.
looks like it was painted in actual blood. Like
I saw this video, Rob.
the
I did.
red.
I
Yeah,
remember
dude.
that. Yeah, look at all this. Oh
And
my
then like the
God.
guy underneath, someone said it's not Solomon. I forget what he was. He looks just like Solomon though. But
Darren, what does that look like to you?
I can't
the guy, it was
see
the guy
him,
in the
but
middle on the bottom. Yeah, you can't really see him. And
Right here. Oh,
yeah,
right here.
yeah, he
This
had a
guy.
beard on the bottom.
Wait, Nimrod?
I
That
can't.
looks like Nimrod. Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it does. No, I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
And then-
that's weird.
Yeah, and then you see
Dude, the
Moloch up
Egyptian
on the
wings,
left.
literal
Yeah,
Egyptian
right.
wings.
Right here.
Dude, so the Moloch's head, if you look at the left, like the left
Well,
ceiling.
that's the Anunnaki bird.
The
So
left.
keep scrolling up. Like the
I
ceiling is
can't.
all part of the mural. Oh,
That's
so
it.
that where you see all those tentacles coming down, those are all
Yeah.
gold hands. They're all
Dude.
gold hands coming off of Moloch's head. Okay,
Oh,
and then
dude,
that's
let's see if I can find it.
and then that's
Let's see if I can
that's a
find that.
that's a sarcophagus at the base where the hands are all hovering around, and the sarcophagus I'm pretty sure is Osiris's body, like based off like
Look,
the
here it is. Here it
the
is.
shape of it.
Yo, guys, that's insane, bro.
Dude, it's fucking wild. The whole
Look at this shit.
mural.
Look at this.
What is that thing? I'm sorry, I'm gonna look wild at my phone here.
I know I'm doing the same thing, but yeah,
Dude.
it's.
That's a
That's
bullhead.
Is it
You
a
know, that's what
bull?
I'm saying.
I'm trying to
It
figure
is.
it out.
It is. That's a
One of
bullhead.
the zodiac wheel right there.
Yeah,
too.
the zodiacs.
And
Yeah.
then you got
Somebody-
Isis is over on the right there, I believe.
Is that a snake too? Right.
Dude, yeah,
here?
that's
Oh
a
yeah.
snake.
Dude, there's so much shit in that mural, dude. You could stare at that thing for 3 hours.
She looks
and
like a Hindu
keep finding new
goddess.
stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
right?
exactly what I was about to say. It
Yep.
does. Right here.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Dude, and
That
that's
is
more
wild.
Egyptian stuff above her head with those little scorpion kind of things in the middle. You remember that from The Mummy?
The
Yeah,
scarabs.
yeah, for the
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
scarab.
there you go.
Yeah.
Nailed
Yep.
it. Nailed it. That is wild. Yeah.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
wild, bro.
Those paintings were fucking crazy. Like in the murals in there. I forget the guy's name, but he was famous because like I said, all he did was family portraits for the Rothschilds for the main part, and they hired him to do that.
I don't know if they hired anybody to do
McKim,
that. That might have just
McKim,
been there.
McKim, Mead, and fucking whatever. Mead and Wright. I think you guys have probably seen them. Like they built like thousands of buildings all over the country, supposedly. All
Well,
the temples.
that's the same thing with all these armories we see, the red brick armories. It's
Hmm.
all built
Yes, dude.
literally by the same person up here, and they're all West
Hmm.
Point graduates with no background. It's the same
Yep.
thing with the Erie Canal. That it was the
Hmm.
largest engineered project in the history of everything, and it was some no-name engineer that had no background.
I've
Hmm.
spoke to people who've worked on the like their great grandparents, and they'll say that parts of the canal were already here. All they did was connect them
Oh
and
yeah.
reroute the
Yep.
waterways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yep.
dig it back out. Yeah,
I
redredge
did
it.
a I did a video on this place called shit. It's in East Bridgewater. It's some memorial park, and it's all an old. It's the where the first grist mill in the U.S. was built supposedly. And who actually, believe it or not, was the great grandfather of Oliver and Oaks Ames, the guys I've done videos of. Like this was John Ames, like the one that opened the first fucking
Of
shovel
course,
factory. You know what I
of
mean?
course.
And made their all their wealth on shovels. But anyway, like in the like the literature I was reading, like there was some documents of guys that like were writing letters during the time that it was being constructed and stuff, and they said the same thing, that there was a ton of like intricate dams and weirs and shit like that were already there. Like they said, their exact words were that it reminded them of London, of
Yeah.
Yeah.
England. And that's what it reminded them of when they showed up in the 1600s. You
So
know what I
I
mean?
Dude,
was
So,
walking in Cohoes and I looked over to the right and it had the old cobblestone sidewalks with like the metal gates and a brick building. Look, just like an alleyway in London. And
mhm,
then it led right to the canal, and I'm looking over the canal blocks over here near Lock 2. It's block on top of block. There's nothing,
mhm,
and there's
yep,
huge blocks, probably 3, 4 feet by 2, 3 feet, set perfectly, like straight level. It makes no sense that who could have
mhm,
laid
and
block
you
on
showed
top of
that
block.
building that they tore down on the canal. That doesn't make any sense. That with the big
No,
pillars on it, dude.
yeah.
Like
I
it's
got a video I'm gonna post soon. I actually walked into where the canal was, jumped up on top of it. I think I brought you there, Lance, where
yep.
it shows it in and it drops off like 10 block down into the ground, and it's
hmm,
where the water would flow into it. It's all
yep,
it's
yep.
literally covered with dirt and grass growing on it.
And it makes
And
more
they
sense.
just dug those with shovels. They're just
Well,
hand shovels, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
that's what they did.
It makes
You
no
know?
makes more
sense.
sense. Like what we always talk about, the canals were here and the mud flood happened. They just undug them. That's
They
it.
undug them. They
And
Mhm,
redredged. Yeah, they
they
redredged it.
mhm,
redredged because
Yeah.
they were still fighting with native tribes. They were fighting
mhm,
with every logistically makes zero sense.
Yeah,
But
you don't
they're
have time to build and get all your materials to the job site on top
No.
of fighting
no,
everybody to get there.
no,
Yeah.
nope.
and where they
Uh,
started the Erie Canal, you know where they broke ground on it, and there's what 28 locks or something wild like that now. They started it in the middle of the state in Rome, New York.
Rome, Utica,
hmm,
Rome
hmm,
to Utica. Yeah.
Yep,
interesting.
363 miles. Are you kidding me?
And
Yeah.
Wow.
then when it was completed, they erected the D.D. Mercury down on the Capitol building in Rochester, New York.
That's everywhere on these buildings. Didn't you, Rob,
Yeah,
find, didn't you,
yeah.
what were we
He
talking
was
about that last time? That was,
he
yeah,
was on Union
Rich.
Station
Yeah.
in Nashville.
In
Mercury.
Nashville. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee, Union Station. It's now a hotel, but it was a train station they threw up in 2 years in 1900, and they had a huge bronze statue of Mercury on the top that eventually fell off, but
Of
they
course.
replaced it with a new one that's a lot worse.
Right.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Per
pull it up.
usual.
I think I got the old stuff.
Yeah, that's why like you were talking about Lance, like that's why I like what I've been you guys are going the canal route, I've been going the railroad route, like myself. I've been falling down that rabbit hole,
yeah,
like following the Ames Trail and all that shit. And like my theory is that like that was all a cover up operation. Like that was
absolutely.
that those tracks were already there,
Dude,
and they were digging them up, and they were collecting
Yep.
artifacts and other evidence along the way, and probably maybe filling in some of those canals you're talking about with some of the dirt that they were digging up some of the tracks with. But like
Well, yeah,
they weren't building them, that's for
some of the
sure.
tracks over
No.
here look like they're laid right on parts of the canal.
exactly
Hmm.
Because
covering
they
up.
took the tolls from the canals and they moved them to the train tracks right after
Yep.
that.
Well, the guys, so the Ames brothers that were hired, they were hired by Lincoln, right, to finish the Transcontinental Railroad. That's the story. Like 50% of it had been done, and Lincoln wasn't pleased with the guy that was running the show, and like needed someone that was going to get the job done in this time frame. So he called his good buddy Oaks Ames or whatever. who had no experience building railroads whatsoever, zero. He owned a shovel manufacturing company in Easton, and he was the one that finished the railroads for them. But in the meantime, while they finished the railroads, him and his brother, they got charged with they were basically charging way too much money for the work that they were doing. So they were called the Kings of Fraud, and they were one of them was actually censured by Congress because he was in Congress, and he was kicked out basically because they were selling overpriced stocks to other congressmen based off like the inflated prices that they were of these like they were requiring 100 million to build the railroad, but it really only cost them 10, type deal, and they were pocketing the rest.
They're
And it was
taking
all
the rest,
taxpayer
yeah.
money, and like they did that, and they were found guilty, dude. And yet we still erected monument after monument after monument for these guys, built schools, fucking roads, named parks after them, and like they were called the Kings of Fraud at this point in time. And like I think it bleeds right back into what we were just saying. Like they weren't really building those railroads, dude. That's why they got found out for pocketing that money. Like they didn't need the money to build it because it was already
Yeah.
there.
I can guarantee you they're masons or Shriners.
Oh no,
Well, they're
dude,
all
I know for a
workers.
fact they
Of
are.
course
Buddy's
they are.
grandfather
Yep.
worked on them. He has a jacket, and they have a lodge number right on it for all
Mhm.
ironworks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you can tell like the progression. So like the canals start in the early 19th century. Then, they get big because they've dug all these canals. Boats are going up and down the canals. Then rail happens, right? In the mid 19th century, canals
Mhm.
completely stop,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
For passengers. Then
Yep.
railroads happen. And then that goes up to the 19th century, early 20th century, and then vehicles start to come out. And
Mhm.
why would you stop using those two perfectly, you know, good transportation ways as canals and train? It's like they were racing it. Okay, well, we built these canals, but it's train now. So let's go
Mhm.
say bye to the
Mhm.
canals and start doing the train.
Well,
And
Money,
then
money, money.
the
yeah,
canals
That's
were
why we never
for
hear airships,
trade.
right?
yeah. What's that, Darren?
The canals were originally for trade, and they would put everything on boats, and to get more like towards inland and everything, they would get put on the train cars. And then
Dude,
eventually the train cars were quicker than the boat routes, so they
Of
just moved
course.
everything to the train cars. And then eventually we got New York State highways and stuff like that, or all your state highways. They moved the tolls. They literally moved the tolls from the canals to the trains to the highways.
That's
Mhm.
And now
exactly
we're
what I'm
stuck
saying.
paying
Yep.
permanent tolls on that stuff that goes all the way back to these old world canals.
It's the
Yeah.
same
Yep.
merchants, same
Yeah.
exact
Mhm.
And it
merchants.
all
Like
has to
that's what
do
we.
with trade and commerce. And you'll see that most of these canal systems and train tracks and even the highways now, they're all on major like old trade routes that are all
Mhm.
marked. We show all the trees. They'll have certain trees from like certain countries, and certain traders will throw a seed in the ground on the routes to mark that it was their route.
And that's
Interesting.
something that the Masons like. They'll plant trees in specific areas, and different trees mean different things. Like in George
Mhm.
Washington, like a sycamore tree. He loved the sycamore tree. Last time I was
Yeah.
down in Jersey, dude, I don't know if I posted that picture of it. It's the biggest tree I've ever like seen. I don't know how big around it is. Like Darren will tell you, I can send you the picture. And dude, it is insane. But sycamore tree, then they plant those trees to mark stuff. And you think about it,
Mhm.
right? With all these merchants, Christopher Columbus had a Templar cross on
Mhm.
the sale, right?
Mhm.
And it's all the same people. Where'd the Templars all go when they got kicked out of
Well,
France?
what was Christopher Columbus looking for? The passage to
Mhm.
Asia, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
And they say in the Bible they hung their harps on the rivers on the willows in
Mm-hmm.
Psalms 137, right? And it
Mhm.
just so happens that the canal that goes from New York City all the way to Albany to Ticonderoga, then out west to the lakes, that's called the King's Highway.
Of
And
course.
Henry Hudson went up it, yada, yada, yada. Christopher Columbus was all over here, the Knights of Columbus, and there's literally willow trees planted on the entire route, and the scientific name for the willow tree is a Salix babylonica, which would be one of the trees they talk about from Psalms
Mhm.
137, the willows, and that
Mhm.
would make sense why they're all on the waters with the
Yep.
statues of the harlot with the same thing right on the waters all over here.
I forget where I heard it too, but like the Templars, I guess, I mean they basically like turn into what we knew as pirates too, like
Yeah.
and like
The Jolly
a
Roger
lot
flag.
correct, yeah, and like because they had like a fleet of like
One-eyed
130.
symbolism.
I think they had a fleet of like 130 something ships that like didn't get they were unaccounted for when they all went scattering. You know,
They
Well,
had
that's the
their
thing.
own
They had
empire.
their ships.
Yeah.
They had their ships, right? And then they'd register each ship to an state or country, and that's where you get your flags from, your state flags that are all the same, because those are company
hmm
flags, which is why the Dutch flag sort of resembles the same colorways as the English flag, and even the United
hmm
States flag. Those are all flags of convenience. So they would take their boats, register. Let's say they had 200,000 boats, they'd register 150,000 of them. 50,000 could be registered to the United States, another 50,000 to the UK, the rest wherever. And then you have all these unregistered boats that aren't accounted for. And they're still
hmm
occupied by these people going around doing whatever. So you'd have, that's what I mean. They play both sides because they would legally have their boats registered, and then they'd have the other boats unregistered running around like pirates.
hmm
And they would never fight each
Kind
other in the
of like
ports
they still
either.
do. Kind of
Yeah,
like they
Yeah.
like
still do.
100%,
Yeah,
dude.
right,
100%.
And then, but
right.
they would never fight in the ports or anything like that because that's where
hmm
they would all dock their boats.
Well,
It's
I also, when I was in New Orleans, I learned all about how like the pirates helped us win the fucking war against the Spanish or whatever,
Yeah.
in New Orleans, the Battle of New Orleans.
Lafitte was
Yeah,
one of them. Yeah, he
yeah,
had a
yeah,
he had a he was one of the first ones to stay on Galveston Island, you know what I mean?
yeah. Yep.
And then just magically became on the team, after
Yeah, he'd have to pay
jacking everybody's
taxes. He'd
shit.
have to pay
Yeah,
taxes the
yeah,
rest of his life. That was the deal.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if he came to fight for the U.S., he
yep.
would have to pay taxes the rest of his life. Like that guy was paying taxes before that.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
right.
you know what I mean?
He's a pirate. I thought
Yeah.
pirates don't do that kind of stuff,
Just
That's
all
but
what
get
I'm saying.
sketchy.
he was
yeah.
a different pirate. Yeah,
Chris
he's
Yeah.
different.
Beal, he talks a lot about that kind of stuff with the treasure, and
hmm
then along
Yeah,
everything what you guys are talking about. Chris Beal is
yeah.
Yep.
hardcore about all that stuff. The
I
Yeah, we gotta
pirates.
was
get him on the
yeah.
show next time, dude.
I was so
Absolutely. Get him on
we've
the band.
already I've already contacted him. We've like gone back and forth a little bit. So next time let's bring him on. Whoever else wants to come on, let's do it, man.
Yeah, bro.
He's an interesting cat.
He's
I
an
don't know, Darren.
interesting dude. Yeah.
He is very. I don't know, Darren, if you got anything you want to share too, you're more than welcome to. I don't know if you have any. I know they're not on a computer, but if y'all have any other topics, please shoot them my way.
I don't know. I don't even have all my pictures are on my phone right now.
I get that.
So
I have like
I'd have to
20,000
go through
pictures
it.
on my phone.
Here, you want
Yeah,
to
You're
pull up?
Dude.
you're good. You're good. You're good. I was just saying, you're good.
I was gonna say
What?
if you want, I was gonna send you a picture, Logan, but I was gonna tell you to pull up the Bennington Battle Monument.
Okay,
I've
let's do it.
done several videos about that. It's a giant obelisk. It's the tallest structure in the state of Vermont. It's to commemorate the Battle of Bennington during the
Someone told me to
Revolutionary
go
War.
there. Someone told me to go there in my
Rob,
comments.
if you when you come here, bro, I'll bring this is Bennington's my city. That's where I was born in Vermont.
Okay.
So, dude,
Yep.
Shout out Bennington.
no
Shout out
Bennington and like,
Bennington.
dude, I'd love to bring you up to Montpelier and stuff when I
Look at
bring
this
Darren.
thing. What is that?
Absolutely, bro.
So
Yep.
that obelisk, Logan, I think it's like 306 feet tall. It's the tallest structure in the state of Vermont still.
Wow.
306 feet.
It's
That's no joke.
306 feet. It sits in a 360-degree circle too. It's
And
like
Is it on
but
top of a big mound?
yeah, so
Really?
that's what I was gonna
it's
say,
like a
Rob.
giant. Yeah.
Is that
Of course it is.
it's not as tall as the one in DC because that one's what 550 feet or something, but it appears
Something.
taller because it's built on a mound.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like it's hulking, bro. And then down the road from this is a giant castle. I brought Darren's gone there. We've gone there together. It's a huge giant castle right down the hill from it. But this obelisk it's absolutely insane, and it was built by Kingsbury dolomite. It's Kingsbury bluestone. They used the same stone to build the Saratoga Battle Monument to commemorate the Saratoga Battle in Schuylerville, as well as the Brooklyn Bridge. And that stone was mined out of Kingsbury, New York, in Washington County, where I live. Kingsbury dolomite bluestone. But the thing is that they say that they built a temporary track from Kingsbury to Vermont.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Every single time,
Yeah.
and it did like that makes no freaking sense. There's
Dude,
no
they
way.
did the same
dude.
thing. They did the same thing for the Bunker Hill one.
Exactly, the Bunker
that's
Hill.
literally the
Yeah,
story.
They
built-
did it
that's
for the
first-
Texas Capitol.
The first
I mean,
train,
like,
the first train track ever built in the U.S.
yeah.
was for them to lug fucking stones from the Quincy Quarry over to the Bunker Hill Mound to build
Yeah.
a monument for a battle we lost. That's
Yeah.
why.
yeah,
That's
and
why
they're
we,
literally driving horses around, dude. Like, and it's all dirt roads, but we're building train tracks to move stone like
that are
states
like 10
away.
tons.
Just states
that are like
away.
7
That
to
makes
10
sense.
tons, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same
No.
thing with in Oakwood Cemetery. There's a 75-foot obelisk that's there, and it's erected for General Wool. He led the Trail of Tears, dude. Literal general, general that
Mhm.
led the Trail of Tears. 75-foot
Mhm.
tall obelisk was the largest monolith single piece of stone to be transported in the country at the time of its erection, and it came from Vermont. And I showed the
Wow.
quarries. The first quarry is in Vermont, the state of Vermont, and then like all the first to so many industries is right here, like right around
Really?
this area.
I
Yep.
didn't
Yep.
know that. That's
Mhm.
Yep.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
believe that.
Why
Yeah,
would
no, like
they?
a lot of the stone, the Vermont stone, all this marble and stuff, it all
Mhm.
came from Vermont. Like that built all these monuments and stuff that we see. But
I
you
Yeah.
know
never
that
thought
the
of that.
ancient peoples, they were mining stuff. It's just like we talk about the Bronze Age. The Bronze Age,
Yeah.
started here. They didn't have enough zinc, and they didn't have it in Europe, where it all happened here. Same thing with horses and camels and
Yeah,
corn.
Michigan, dude. Michigan
Yeah.
still has their ancient you know, whatever they were
Logan,
taking out of Michigan. I don't even know about around the Great Lakes. I know that much, but
Logan, can you pull up the Pilgrim Monument in Provincetown?
Yeah, dude, that's wild too. The
That looks
Pilgrim
just it looks
Monument.
just like the landscape looks just like the obelisk you were just showing, as far as like the sacred geometry and the how they break down like just the walking paths or whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah,
But
that's
this is
I
it's
saw your
also
video on this.
this is the
Yeah.
tallest granite structure in the world, I believe.
The world,
Um,
really?
yeah, and then up the road in Plymouth, you got the
Insane.
Forefathers Monument,
Look at
which
this
is
thing.
The
the
four
tallest granite statue in the world, solid granite statue in the world, I guess. Like
And I
I
did
don't know,
videos about that one too, Rob.
the
That's
Forefathers, yeah.
the forefathers one. That one's
Mhm.
insane too, bro. There's all
Mhm.
sorts of symbolism in that thing.
Oh, dude, that was one of the first things I ever filmed. Like that was like one of the things that like really woke me up because like when I started doing these videos, like I kind of went into it like thinking I was gonna like prove like my theories wrong, like oh like these guys can't be right about all this shit. You
Of
know what I mean? There's
course.
gotta be
Of course. We all
and
did that. We all did
and then
that.
I started looking into it and like that was like one of the first places I went, bro. And I'm looking at this thing, it's like for the pilgrims, and you don't see a damn thing in referencing the pilgrims anywhere on the
Yeah.
original statue. Like what you can
Yeah.
tell is the original statue. It's just massive Greek and Roman gods and goddesses like that are like fucking 60 feet tall or whatever. But it's yeah, and all for the pilgrims, man. And then they did the
Uh,
Pilgrims Monument too. That massive tower that you just showed, they did that for the pilgrims too. Not a
this
Dude,
is
pilgrim. There's
this
not
is
a
what
pilgrim
they do
anywhere.
in Texas. They do it for the Alamo, okay?
dude,
Hmm.
the Alamo. Here we go.
This is
Same
for
shit.
the Alamo guys. And if it was me, I would probably put some of the Alamo people on there, like some of the main hitters, but
Dude,
instead they
look at
just
that thing.
made it look like
Okay.
a Roman statue,
So
because that's what they would want.
can I give a little language and architecture lesson right now? Because so that is
Please. Oh,
called
dude.
that right there is called it's a replica of the Karagic Monument of Lysicrates. Okay, which was a fucking it was basically a massive temple built to the Roman god Bacchus. Okay,
Bacchus,
Dionysus,
Bacchus.
Bacchus,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Dionysus. So that's what that shape is, though. When you see those four pillars like that,
Yep.
and like you see them on the tops of a lot of our state capitals and buildings and shit, like that's what that shape, like in architecture, if you look it up, it's called the Karagic Monument of Lysicrates, and it all boils back to Bacchus, who was like, he was the god of wine and orgies and fucking some fucked
Oh,
up shit,
okay. Yeah.
I got a story about
and
Bacchus.
theater, also the god of theater.
I
That's
was
funny.
recording the church. I mean, the library in Cohoes is a giant old world building. And across the street, there's this lawyer's house, and it has all these faces on it that are like these clay masks. And
Mm.
the lady came outside and she was asking me, like, she was saying how she makes the lawyer does for all the pizza shops. And there's a giant, basically, deity for the pizza shop. That's their oven where they
Mm.
throw the pizzas in. And it just so happens to be called Bacchus Pizza. It's an underground pizza shop. And
What
it's
the fuck?
literally
Dude.
right across. Dude, this lady was asking me, like, what kind of pizza do I like super weird, like, questions, trying to get me to go in her house and everything.
Was this like Pizzagate shit they were
Bro,
talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah,
dude.
dude.
Seriously,
So
it
listen,
is.
That's
It's
what I
I
was
look
about
up.
to say.
Listen, I
Mhm.
look it up, right? So I look up Bacchus Pizza. I go there and I'm recording there. It's right across the street from Troy's Music Hall, which is 33 3rd Street or 2nd Street
Mm.
over there. It's right on the
Mm.
river. It's literally right across the street. It's underground pizza shop across the street from the old Mason Hall.
Oh,
Mm.
dude,
I
it's
was
pretty
recording the
obvious.
building. It's an old world building. Dude, the owner was outside. I didn't notice him because the stairs dipped down. And he was literally sitting there watching me say that exactly what I'm telling you. Like,
Wow.
saying, we're
He didn't
talking about
say
the
anything?
lady. He was just like, "Do you got any questions or anything?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm good." Like,
They came out the last time you and I went there, Darren. You took
and
me
I
there.
just left. I was sad. I was
They're
like,
like,
"You're
they're
going down the
waiting for
rabbit
you,
hole."
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they were
gonna
waiting
be.
for you. That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's some shady shit right there.
I
And
remember
then
I remember learning about Bacchus in Latin class, like in high school too. Like the shit that we used to learn about that dude, like the Bacchic rites is what they called it, and the Bacchanalia was the like the ceremony that they had for him, which was like a it was either a week or a month long ceremony where like they would just get fucked up, like drink and do drugs and like wear masks and have like crazy orgies and like class didn't matter and like
Yeah,
so like the rich were sleeping with the slaves and all this stuff. It was
all
like
these pagan holidays, like Valentine's
yeah.
Day is
no,
Lupercalia,
literally,
where they'd
literally.
go out
And
in
then
the
you said
fields
that
and
he
they'd be
was.
slapping bloody goat pelts around across their women and stuff.
Yep. Yep.
That's great. How about the Washington Monument in freaking Baltimore? Have you ever seen that? That thing looks huge.
No, I haven't
I
seen that one.
This
haven't.
right, this right here. And it's just like, okay, you did that for old
Oh yeah.
George. Hold on, let's see if there's a. I
Dude,
gotta.
it looks like the
Oh,
Washington
I
Tower
mean,
I just did in Mount Auburn Cemetery that was like built for George Washington for no reason. It
Dude,
was
that's
look at
what
like
I
that.
was thinking, Rob. I was like, man, that looks wicked familiar.
yeah,
Look at
it
it.
does.
Isn't that crazy?
It looks just like it. They called it a cenotaph. Apparently that means empty tomb. And that's like a
Well,
term.
that looks just like the one I was telling you about in Springfield, in between the two Pantheon, like the city hall. It was the
Mm-hmm.
same tower,
Look
just
at this
like that.
cathedral. Look at this cathedral to the
Yep.
side of it.
Yeah,
Dude, that
Like,
looks just like
come
Mount
on.
Auburn Cemetery, bro. Even the
dude, that's
cathedral
wild.
looks just like the cathedral at Mount Auburn. That's wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. About
Yep.
these cathedrals, like, I mean, like, what exactly do y'all think it was? I know we have the cymatic symbols on the front, you know, like, the organ inside was supposed to help your organs and this and that. I mean, if you look at this thing, it being for religion and, for Christianity, just that alone is like, I'm out. Like Saint Patrick's in New York. That
Mm,
that thing to look at and think that, New Yorkers built this so they could have a church.
mm.
St. Patrick's Cathedral. I've spelled it wrong, but I'm sure it'll pop up.
No, yeah, that place is
oh yeah,
insane. I've
that's
seen
the
that.
one's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, why would they build this as a church in the 19th century?
They
And
would.
it
Mm-hmm.
it looks like it is extracting something from the ether. It looks like
Mm.
a healing center, doesn't it?
All the spires everywhere, right?
I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Which
wild.
They got
that comes
pictures
from
of
the
some of
Latin to
them.
breathe. I learned like spiro means to breathe in Latin, so that's like where that term spire comes from.
Look at these doors. I
Ah,
mean, why are they that big too?
yeah. Come on, dude. Come
Mm.
on, get out of here.
Get out of
They
there.
have pictures of some of the cathedrals dug out in New York City. They're sitting on temple pillar columns.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, Darren and I have done the first video that we ever did together. We met up at St. Joseph's in Albany, and they say that came over stone from Ireland.
Hmm. Yep.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Darren talked to
and
some
that
people
that
there.
church has an obelisk on the inside of the courtyard, right next to the church.
Cathedral. Oh my God. Is this it right here?
Yeah, and I talked to the local. Some guy came out of his
Insane, dude.
apartment from the ground floor. He said that the pattern on the structure
Look
changed
at the
like that over
inside.
time.
Look at the inside. Is that it?
Dude, it's abandoned right now, completely.
It
It's
don't
like,
look like that now. It's trashed on the inside right
uh-huh.
now.
Wow.
But
That's
this
what it
is
looks like? Wow.
this
That's
is 10
wild.
Brioc Triangle, I think.
Yeah,
It looked like
Rock Triangle. Like literally, Darren and I almost got kicked off a property together the first time
Yeah,
we
for recording.
were
oh,
recording.
I think I saw that one. I think I saw
Yeah,
that video. That hasn't happened to me yet. I've been
It had
waiting
a
for it.
tree. It was a what's it, copper peach tree, and they
Copper
literally had
Beach.
the copper wire running down the tree, grounded into the ground.
Dude,
Yep.
look at
Mm-hmm.
this. Look. Oh, I
Yeah,
saw
that's
that.
it.
Yeah, I
That's the
remember
inside
that.
of it right
I
there.
remember the copper deal. That was really cool. Look at this. That is
That
Dude,
looks
that
like,
church
dude,
is it,
that reminds me. That looks like Trinity Church in Boston, like I was talking about earlier. It was
They
just
a
a lot.
lot of
It's
them look
wild,
like it,
Rob.
you know?
It's like all the same, like
They're all the
literally.
same. It really is. I mean,
Yep.
I found
And
one
they're
in
all,
Lafayette, Louisiana that looks like this, you know? I mean,
oh
they're
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, everywhere. Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, I did
Yeah.
one in Mobile, Alabama, like that. Like I've done them all over.
They're all over the place. Yeah.
Crazy.
And you see
And
the
like,
white
and when you
patterns
look
on the
into them,
front?
they're all built on top of other shit. Like you guys
Yeah.
are saying,
Yeah.
always.
The white patterns, these?
Yeah, that the building transformed over time. The guy said that he literally watched the whole thing was gray brick, how like the inside of it looks, and he said the outsides of it over time wore down to the way it looks now, like white.
Hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Like they covered it up.
Interesting.
Had mud
I've
on it.
actually noticed that. I've noticed that in cemeteries. Like I've seen, like you ever seen like some gravestones like that are made of like a white quartz from back in the day, dude.
Mhm.
They're whiter than anything that we would install today.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it's like you look at the date, it says like 1820, and it looks like somebody just brushed his teeth.
I
It's
was
like
at a Pantheon today in Troy or 2 days ago at the Russell Sage College, and it literally was 1836, all quartz Pantheon, and looks like it's perfectly white.
It's
Mhm.
There's no
highly,
Yeah.
weathering
highly,
marks
And then
down it or
yeah.
oh yeah,
anything.
and then you look at the grave next to it from 1990, and that one's all covered in moss. So you can't read it, and fucking
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes
Yep.
no
yeah,
sense.
oh, yeah,
That
it's weird.
quartz is highly piezoelectric, you know. It's like those structures had a charge, you know, and that
Hmm.
charge kept it clean or so, you know, it
Yeah,
just
like
didn't.
nothing would grow on it. Nothing
Yeah,
could.
exactly. And I mean, yeah, it's wild.
That makes sense. So how do they? So my thing too, like, 'cause I'm a carpenter. I build stuff for a living, and like all those buildings, I swear I'm gonna start doing this when I go video. Like some of these churches, I'm gonna bring my laser level with me and shoot it out to see how level those
Yeah,
foundations and the
Yeah,
stones
dude.
still
That's a great
are,
idea.
bro. Because
that is.
I can see an eighth of an inch out of level, man. It's just like part of my DNA now. Like you know what I mean? And like these places, I swear to you, are dead not level without being touched 200, 300 years later. Meanwhile, the house that we built 25 years ago is already sinking half an inch. You know what I mean?
Of
At
course.
best, it's
Because
like,
we weren't supposed to be building stuff out of wood.
no,
Not
I
even that.
know.
They'll lay sidewalks and they'll plant trees in the sidewalks for decorative purposes. 20 years goes by, the tree roots move all the stone out of place.
Oh yeah,
So it's
always,
like, how are
always.
these
Easy.
buildings staying there through these, not only like the ground, but like the root
Mhm.
systems,
And they
everything.
all
It
have
makes,
massive fucking trees around them, like the
yeah, that's what I'm
healthiest of
saying. So
Massive.
trees.
normally
Yeah,
the
yep.
roots
Yeah.
would push the block or something. They
Hmm.
don't do that.
No,
Yeah,
well, a
that's
lot
a
of
good
times, see
point. I've never even
what
thought
I've
of that.
noticed when you look though, like that's I think more fucking evidence of the tunnel systems that they got underneath there too, because like you see how you see the roots like will spread out along the surface, like
Yep.
when you're walking around these places, and like that's not what roots naturally do. Roots
They're
want to
supposed
go
to go
down.
down. Yes.
Correct. Like so that's the whole point, right? So
Ah,
like they only spread out along the surface like that and are visible to us when they can't
Go
penetrate whatever's
down. Yeah.
below
So
them.
it's like they're
And
hitting the
like
top of the tunnel.
correct. And like I swear, dude, they'll like I've filmed it. They form perfect domes. Like if you were just like to hollow out the dirt from under the roots, it would be a perfect tunnel system half the time. You know what I mean? And that's I bet you that's what that is.
a lot like Stellium that was talking about the huge trees. He thinks that a lot of these tunnels were actually old root systems that would go through the lands, and then they would keep it up a little bit. But I thought that was
Hmm.
an interesting way to look at it.
Well, if they
If they were
had like,
giant trees, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, the root systems would carve all that out.
Mm-hmm.
all those tunnels.
Yeah.
yeah,
Never really thought about that.
Did you
yeah.
guys, were either one of you guys there when Darren and I were live and we were in this little town called Stillwater and we were inside the church with the key man and Chris Beal was on and he was like, ask him about tunnels. And so I played it off. I'm like, hey, where I'm from, man, there's tunnels that go from the school up to the old hospital up on hill. And where I live in Cambridge, like they're legit tunnels that go from the school to the hospital up on the hill, the old hospital, because my buddies used to go smoke cigarettes in there when we were in high school. And there's
Hell yeah, you did.
extensive tunnel systems that go underneath there. Well, bro,
Mhm.
Darren and I are live in this church, and I asked the guy, and the dude, like, his mind literally melted, and he said something about kids being shuffled back and forth.
His whole
What?
demeanor changed. Like he got
No, he
upset.
didn't. Oh my God, what?
And dude, there was like hundreds of people watching, like, what is going on right now? And then like his whole
What?
demeanor changed, and then he wanted us to kind of get out of there. And then, dude, he came and started following us and wanted to take pictures and was
Oh
being super
no.
Like
weird,
down the
asking.
street, got in his car, stopped us
Uh-huh.
like half a block down.
What? While y'all were
And
walking?
he wanted
Yeah, dude, and
pictures
he
of us
came.
in front of the church, saying like they wanted to see who came and visited. We want to show everybody, and I just kept
Oh
walking.
my God,
I
But
dude.
was like,
dude,
"You're
he
not
came
getting my
out
picture."
aggressive at
Uh,
first until I'd always, anytime somebody comes up, I'd be like, yeah, there's like 300 people watching you live right now. This is what we do. We
Yeah,
live stream.
yeah.
But he came
He's like,
over
oh shit.
aggressive first.
Yeah.
And like he kind of mellowed out after that. Like, no, we go around and show the history. And I told him, like, I'm from the area, dude. Like, we're
Yeah.
both from here. But dude,
Mhm.
he literally had the keys and wanted to know what we were doing filming. And then we
No.
went inside and we asked him out, and he totally said something about the kids being shuffled in the
Yeah,
tunnel.
he was like,
That's so
maybe
fucked
they
up.
have tunnels going back and forth from the school to the hospitals.
Maybe. Oh
Yeah,
man,
maybe.
dude. What should have just knocked that motherfucker out.
And we were like
Yeah.
halfway down the street, and he's like, "Hey
Please.
guys, hey guys, hey guys," and he stopped us twice. So like Lance took a picture with him, and we kept walking. Then he came up in his van like another block down the road. I don't even know what he said to Lance because I didn't even go anywhere near his
He
van
kept
at that
asking
point.
questions and he wanted to take pictures. And I said, and I could tell. I said, dude, if I had a business card, I'd give you who I am. I told him exactly who I was. It's like I'm a prior cop. I said, dude, we're just filming history, bro. We're not here doing anything nefarious. There's
Yeah, like
nothing.
back up.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
and like finally he kind of got it, but he was playing games the whole time. And like, don't come over here with your nonsense. It's just like Darren and I were live in Schenectady, and this like 90-year-old woman from the college came over and told us we couldn't film in public. And I said, okay, well, there's no expectation of privacy in public, so you can pound salt, thank you.
Yeah, bye.
And like her whole thing changed, just like when he's talking about the Brock Triangle or whatever, dude, we're
Yeah.
filming, and this bridge troll of a woman, or whatever it was,
I
comes.
saw that one. That's the one I
Dude,
saw.
and
Yeah.
she's like, and Darren, well, you see how he blocks people? It's the same kind of way in public. Like Darren will just,
I won't even answer him. I'll just act like they're not even
I
there.
know. I
Yeah,
haven't seen
yeah.
that.
dude. She
Yeah.
comes
It's
out
the
and she
best way
starts
to do it.
asking
Yeah.
questions, and I was like, we're investigative journalists. And she's like, well, she literally said that we had to be escorted so they can control the narrative. I'm not even kidding.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
when she
Go
said
ahead and
that, I
say it.
pulled out my phone. I'm like, all right, so we're getting kicked out of here. And I called her
Mhm.
a sir. I said, this sir, and dude, she literally went right back down into her little hobbit tunnel, and Darren and I got out of there.
And disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Magically disappeared. I actually found this article not too long ago, and it's about St. Augustine and how it says right
Florida.
here. Yep, St.
I
Augustine and
I gotta get down there.
We got to
how
get down there, Rob.
you know
Mhm.
San Marcos Star Fort, the San Marcos Star Fort. It's like perfect Star Fort. It's
Mhm.
connected. It says Old Spanish Fort and the Old Spanish Cathedral are, to have subterranean underground passages, basically is what it says to.
Mhm.
And have you ever seen the San Marcos
I think I
Star
have.
Fort? Let's see. This. Of course you
Oh
have.
yeah. Yeah.
It
We've
looks
all
like
had to
just the
see it.
ones over here.
That looks like
Yeah.
Fort Ticonderoga,
Yeah.
bro. Can you
It
First
does
thing I
look,
thought.
show that
but
compared to Fort
that's way
Ticonderoga?
smaller though. That's way smaller though. Here, let me put up Fort Ticonderoga.
Even like Fort Niagara or like Stanwix, it's all the
Fort
same.
Stanwix, yeah.
Mhm.
Fort Ticonderoga is massive though. Isn't that huge? It's got like the barracks and stuff inside of it.
Yeah.
You
It's the
know?
same exact thing though.
Oh,
You
it's
know
the
what I
same
mean?
exact thing. Yeah, they're all
Those are very-
they're all similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah,
So
I just
what is the explanation for that from them on the shape? That's just
Dude,
a very it's a
so
highly defensible position.
yeah,
That's it.
they say it's like, yeah, it's you know, it's for defensive
Is it
purposes, of
though?
course. Yeah.
have you
No,
seen the ones in Europe?
yeah,
Yeah.
of
No,
course.
They're
yeah.
the
It's like
same
yeah.
exact things. The
I
same
know,
exact.
but why? I don't see how it's an advantage to like if like like I
It
get the
isn't.
ramparts, but like what about the guys in like the valley? You know, like I don't know, they have no viewing point of anything. Like you can't really, I don't know.
The inside of
There's
them
a
had water
Water. I was gonna
in
say
them,
there's
yeah.
so
water
it's not.
inside of all of them.
No shit.
That's like San Marcos. I mean, this one still has a canal that goes
Yeah.
around it. You can see it. But a lot of them have been filled in.
And
Yeah.
that's why, like all of them off the Hudson and off all these rivers, the river
Mhm.
water would have gone right around that moat around the Star. Same
Yeah.
thing
Yep.
with like Lake Champlain, Fort
And
Ticonderoga.
even from like a water route perspective, the boats that would try to invade or yada yada yada, they just aim the cannons right at the boats.
Mm-hmm.
right from the start. Each of them corner points for the star, the fractal points, like they'll be 5-pointed or 4-pointed. There'll be
Yeah.
cannons stationed right there.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's where those are basically the cardinal points of the fort.
I've seen Ticonderoga's like, them explaining its history, and it shows, in the fort, and then actors like acting out,
Yeah.
I guess whatever battles. It looks so dumb, like they built this perfect star fort to put cannons on top of it, and then is it the Hudson that's right
Yeah.
out there?
But
Yeah,
like Champlain.
Champlain. Then they
Mhm.
are shooting these canyons, however far that is, which is a long ways. And think how small a boat is out on, that lake or river or whatever it
Mhm.
is. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
silly. Very,
Well, then
very
Mm-hmm.
Crown
silly.
Point, that's just north of it on Lake Champlain, they purposefully destroyed that star fort.
Really,
And Darren's pulled it up. It's all French Templar forts.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I got it right from the military Cotslow library, all the blueprints from the French military.
And
I
we
know like
like talk.
LaSalle and all those guys. LaSalle. That's what you're
Yeah.
talking about, basically. LaSalle was the one that did all down the Mississippi and then did it in
It says it
Matagorda
right on
Bay
the thing,
by me.
military fortifications, and then we'll say Paris, and then it will literally list all the other fortifications that are similar.
That
And
are
we fig
Jesuit. Yeah.
Down to the blueprint, it shows the geometry and everything, and then it shows them going from one fort, building the next one,
and
with
you
the
figure
plans to design and build the next one, like what area they had it all mapped out with like the high and the lows of the
Did
valley
you
points.
did you say that a Jesuit, Logan? Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah. Is it Jesuit? Is that the same thing? Like I know you said Templar, but
that's
uh,
like Solomon commanded. He commanded demons, but he also commanded giants. I mean, the fortification of the city. Solomon was
yeah,
the Templar, the Freemason. You know what I
No,
mean?
because like
Like,
yeah,
the Jesuits are a sect of of Catholicism. I actually
yeah.
went to a Jesuit high school, um, and I'm just curious because I know there's some connection
Yeah,
between
same,
The
them and the
Catholics are
Freemasons
Templars
and the
too.
Templars. Oh yeah, oh 100%.
of course.
But I think but I think the Jesuits might be, I don't know, they're definitely one of the older groups. I think like they were the ones that like they're known as the Society of Jesus, I think is their other term. And they have like a lot of different Christograms that you see on all the fucking churches everywhere, that represent the Society of Jesus. And Saint Ignatius of Loyola was their
Yep, yep.
like patron saint or whatever, which, as we know, this Loyola is fucking everywhere,
mhm.
You
all over
guys
the
know that
country.
John Baptist was a patron saint in Freemasonry?
John
No.
Baptist.
Yeah, John the Baptist.
John the Baptist was interesting.
Really?
Now,
I didn't know
Yeah, I
that.
just went down that rabbit hole, and then I found the John Baptist Van Rensselaer wick stained glass window they took out the church, and it had
Hmm.
the knight's crest above the name. It had like their whole order and everything down here from like
Wow.
16 something. They took the window out, and it had the J or the I, whatever one you want to call it, instead of the one, right in the artwork of the window.
so
Hmm.
what is it? 1,000 years? Like, do y'all believe 1,000 years have been
Dude, I
an
was in this
entire timeline?
cemetery. I was at this Jewish
Mm,
cemetery, and it says like 1900 to like slash the year 5000 something, and one year is supposed to be the AD, and the other one's supposed to be the Hebrew date, the
Hmm.
Shabbat date.
yeah,
And then when you get going in the cemetery, normally it will say like ADAR, or like it will say Shabbat, and then it will give the 5000 year date. There was headstones in there that said AD 5646.
really?
Yeah.
Just haven't
There,
been scrubbed?
Like
I
they're
was
not.
there
It's
with
not even
Darren.
the Shabbat date or like the Hebrew dates. It
The
was
Hebrew
literally
dates?
A.D.
Whoa,
5000 something.
that's wild.
Hmm.
That cemetery is weird because all the headstones, it was a big cemetery, and all this, there's a specific area with specific people in it, and all the headstones were like right next to each other.
Some of
With
them
all
were
the,
Yeah,
full Hebrew.
really,
Some of them
really
uh-huh.
had
close.
Masonic compasses on
Yeah.
them. It was,
I mean, why is that? So like I
Wild.
filmed a lot of cemeteries, right? Like why is it that so many more Freemasons die than everybody else? Like I don't get it.
Yeah,
But
Like
that's like
they
down
literally
here too.
represent 80%
they
of every
worship the
cemetery
dead.
you go to.
So
But I'm just saying, like, where do all the non-Freemasons get buried, bro? Like I don't see, like, you know
think
what I
they
mean?
were
Like they,
poorer families though. They're more like the ones with all the money.
Yeah, they couldn't have a
no,
They
no, I know,
control
tombstone,
but I'm
everything.
so
saying,
So
but even like the little graves will still have the fucking the compass on them and shit,
they
like the
will.
square
Yeah,
and
they
compass
do
and like
down
the
here.
or the V or whatever. Like there's always a symbol, and like if I were to count, dude, I swear like 98% of these gravestones in some of these cemeteries are Masons.
And it's
And it's
all
like,
older,
Yeah.
all
yeah,
because that
Oh,
was
yeah.
so big back in the day. And even like Darren sent me a video of Truman speaking recently, and 25% of the military were Freemasons in Truman's
And
time.
that's back then.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine
So,
how many now.
yeah.
but
Mhm.
even then, like with it going either way, like I don't know. But like Darren always says too, is that a lot of these obelisks and stuff, they're just repurposing them. They
Dude,
don't even have dates
Mhm.
on them. Like a
Correct.
lot of them we
there's
find
Yep.
completely unmarked.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Mhm.
have down here. Yeah, for
there's
sure.
Saint
Mhm.
Joseph's up near me, and it has Saint Joseph that was supposedly Jesus's father,
Mhm.
married to Mary, and he was a carpenter, like you're a carpenter. He has the square, and it's not even a carpenter hammer; it's a masonry hammer.
Yeah.
Dude,
Inside,
I filmed the same statue on a church in Whitman.
dude,
I know
it's
exactly what you're talking
inside
about.
up here at St. Joseph's, right? In the back of the cemetery, like 10 feet off the property line in the woods, there's an unmarked obelisk with its head knocked off. Literally,
Mm.
it has a statue with its hands, no head, no name or date on any of the faces of it at all.
Wow.
And you go in the back side near the where the statue is of St. Joseph, it says right on it, it was the Knights of Columbus who basically own the property now,
Mhm.
and they're all the Freemasons, and that got ties it to the Catholic Church because Columbus was funded by the Catholic Church.
It
Yeah,
all.
and then like the Freemasons have so many different sects too. It's like I've tried to learn a little bit about some of the
Bro.
like
It
like
gets
it's
So,
impossible
insane.
to
It's a
keep
It's
lot.
track.
insane.
Like the
Yeah,
Knights of Pythias and fucking
yeah.
you got the Shriners and you
It's
got the Knights of
crazy.
The
Columbus and
Shriners are the craziest. It like what they dress up in, and
they
it's
get me
all like
mad, dude. That
it's
Fez.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
dude.
it's
And
it's a it's
they
a
name
lot.
all their temples. We like they call them like Mecca and fucking like that's what they like. I did one on the Fox Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, which is a former Shriner temple. They named it Mecca, I think, and then but it like, they in 2 years time it was closed down and made a movie theater by this movie mogul who was a Freemason. Um, and it's literally like just like something out of straight out of the Middle East. Like that's what it looks like. They
Straight
do
out of the
like the
Middle East. Yeah,
that's what it
it's
looks like.
wild.
You talk about so like talking about different sects. Are you familiar with the York Rite? So like
Yeah. Hmm.
so Scottish Rite started in South
Hmm.
Carolina in Charleston
Hmm.
and Charlestown, King Charles. York Rite. All right, so New York,
Hmm.
Yorkshire, England, York Rite is in New York,
Yuka
Yorkshire.
York.
Yuka York.
Hmm.
That is directly linked to Jehovah's, right? And the Jehovah Kingdom Hall is down the road from my house. Now, Darren knows about this. I had an 88-year-old man from the Jehovah Church show up to my house. Okay. And
Okay.
he wanted to talk to me about some prophecies, okay, from the Jehovah
Now
Church. I'm
these
not even,
Jehovah's Witnesses is the same thing.
yeah, Jehovah's
Same church.
Witnesses. But the
Okay.
York Rite, this all goes to the York Rite. So he comes and talks to me, and then I talk. I was like, yeah, I believe, but like I'm good with talking with you. And then the guy was cool, Air Force veteran, like 88 years old. He shows up a couple more times. I wasn't there. He leave notes at my house. I'm with my brother TJ. Like if you guys seen videos of him, TJ was at my house. This dude shows up, and this is before I knew anything about this stuff. This dude shows up with an old woman. Old woman is his wife. She's like 80 something years old too. Dude, she has an English accent. She said, "My husband told me about you." And she's speaking English, like in an English accent. She's like, "The
Hmm.
only other Lancelot I've ever met in my life was my father, Lancelot Appleby in England. And I had to come
What?
see you." Dude, and
What?
I was like, okay,
This is
this is
weird.
wild. Yeah. And my
Why are
brother
you
was there,
here?
saw the whole thing. And dude, she was wearing white gloves. And they wanted me to read scripture and tell me about prophecies. And then I find out about York Rate coming from England, their connection with the Jehovah Church, dude. And when she left, she looked back at me. There's something like changed. It got weird. Her eye, bro, went straight reptilian and drooped. I'm not even
No.
kidding, dude. I'm
No.
telling you.
Wow.
And she was straight from England, had moved there, and then told me about Lancelot Appleby in England and like this whole thing, dude. And like she told me my name was Sir Lancelot, and that's how I had to introduce myself. I'm not
Sounds
even
like a
kidding.
bad
Yeah,
dream,
you
bro.
got to tell everybody that that's your name now. That's crazy. I totally believe in the reptilian thing. You can feel evil people
Hmm.
around you, like, you can
Mm.
just you can
Hmm.
feel it. I'm sure
Oh, dude,
when
I
you
recorded a demon just like a couple weeks ago in Brockton. I swear to fucking God, caught it on
I
recording.
believe
swear
you,
to
dude.
swear to
Yeah.
fucking God. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the cemeteries you are going into, you're bound to run into one or two.
I'm not
Yeah,
scared at the
this was
cemeteries, but
this
when
was the
Darren and
hood.
I
It's
in
on
got
the
out of the
Brockton.
streets.
yeah,
It's on the
dude,
street.
Troy, we go live in Troy one day. As soon as we get out of the car, this demon approached us.
That's a
Mhm.
meth head actually, but yeah.
No, they're demons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
No,
Those
so
are
I
demons
she
too.
even said she was like, "You're trying to put your good intent."
Your
She was
weird
talking.
energy away from me, like
Yeah.
she's just went into like
Mm.
straight spiritual talk, and I'm like, lady,
Yep.
she almost like got hit by
Oh.
a car, and Lance was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Don't talk to me. I don't like your energy."
Mhm. Yep.
You don't like
No,
my
it's the,
energy.
it's the
I don't
yeah,
like
it's the
your
vibe.
energy.
It's the vibration we're putting off, man. They don't like it. It
Of
fucking
course.
it scares them.
Well, they feed off the
Completely agree.
negative vibes, so it's like they don't even like being around us. It's too much for them to even.
No, the one I recorded, dude, I swear, like, so I filmed like 35 different like short videos that day in Brockton. That was the one video. There was this chick that was like screaming, like she had some mental health shit going on. And like I was, just doing my thing because like obviously I'm not gonna, approach that, dude. There's nothing I can do to
Not
help
gonna
there.
holler at that.
No, there was nothing I could
Yeah.
do, bro. And I was
There's
like,
nothing I
it
can
was
do.
one of those, you know what I mean? And but anyway, so like I get back and I start doing the editing thing, and like that footage that I got from that church at that particular time when that girl was yelling was the only footage I had that wouldn't play. It would, and like the it would just freeze, like the whole background, like the image was frozen,
That's
and like
weird.
then there was no audio at all. It was completely muted, right? And then I'm like, fuck, dude, how did that happen? And like I'm in the editing screen and I can hear the audio. And then so then when I switch back to the regular, if I'm just watching it on my saved version, no audio. In the editing screen, clear as day. Can hear the woman screaming, but it does not sound like a fucking woman, dude. It sounds like a
A
demon,
demon.
like
Yeah.
shrieking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Siren,
Have you ever
got
siren.
I got
Mm.
banned my last two lives because I literally got approached by two women, and we started yelling at each other, and then they kicked me when I start freaking giving it back to them.
You New Yorkers, it's
Yeah.
hilarious. Have y'all seen this article before? This guy was digging in the heart of Los Angeles for City of Lizard People.
Yeah,
You
I
ever heard
posted
about this
this. I
story?
posted something
Oh, have
about in
you?
this in one of my videos. That article exactly.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. Like, supposedly, I guess he was re-digging because before he was digging a hole for some. I don't even remember what he was digging the hole for, but and found like this underground labyrinth with some
Hmm.
interesting creatures in it, supposedly. And then the media picked up on it, and it was in all the news. What is
Didn't they
this?
just find like an underground ocean too? Like that, I don't know if like that happened like in the last week.
Oh,
Like
there's a
they
ton of
found
They've
like
been
those.
finding a
some
bunch of stuff the
Yeah.
last couple
yeah,
of weeks. They
yeah,
just found a bridge in the Mediterranean Sea underneath the water that resets their whole entire timeline.
Of
yeah. I'm not
course.
surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised either. Well, the Mediterranean was supposedly wasn't even there not long ago. I mean, with water.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
and like Logan, are you talking about, dude, with the Great Lakes? There's so many maps without the Great Lakes, and then
So
showing
many.
California as an
But if this
island.
place really flooded, there's
Mhm.
pictures up into the 1800s of New Yorkers. Their whole house is 2 stories covered in
Yeah,
water. Like
covered
these
in
people
Oh
were
yeah.
water.
on boats.
Yep. Yep.
Everybody had a fucking canoe back then too. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
Yeah,
dude.
noticed that.
literally,
Like,
they would have a
like
whole
all,
city
all
of
the
people.
pictures.
Everybody had
Yeah.
a fucking
I
canoe.
swear, like I
I
did a
know.
video
Their
on Roger
city's
Williams
flooded.
Park,
That's
and
so
all the
funny.
videos, like all the pictures like that I looked at, like there's like 60 canoes and kayaks and like the
Yeah.
rivers and canals. It's like, why did we stop doing that? Like
Hey,
that
you
looks
got to
so
be
much cooler.
prepared, man. You got to be prepared for those floods, dude.
Yeah, dude. I
I
don't
need to get
know.
on my canoe game. That's
Hmm.
funny. Yeah, well, y'all want to just end it there, guys? That was great. That
Yeah,
was
Dude,
fun.
that
We
was
gotta
Yeah,
do
so
more
yeah,
much
I had
shit.
a
fun,
good
We
flow.
bro.
gotta
Yeah.
do
yeah.
this a lot more. And so, okay, I'm just gonna say, you are gonna have to figure out how to share because I can't both do it. I could not complete a sentence all the way because I'm like
Yeah,
doing this and then, so I can't
yeah.
multitask is basically what I'm
Well,
saying.
with the pictures,
No,
So yeah, with pictures and because I want like the viewers to see what we're talking about too visually. Because
yeah,
I always
yeah.
love podcasts that are really good at that. Well, I found out I'm not very good at it because then I can't complete a sentence. But so
Dude, you
maybe
did
we
awesome. You do
we can.
awesome,
No, yeah,
bro.
you
Thanks,
yeah,
killed
you
thanks.
it,
did
bro. You
good.
killed it.
Yeah,
It's
what are you
just my
talking
Mhm.
my
about?
mind doesn't you know what I mean? I'm like thinking about this and then trying
I
to
know what
listen
I
well
know what I
too.
can do for next time though. I got a plan. I can screen share on my TV behind me. Like I'll set it up so I
Cool,
can be
cool.
through my other phone because the
Yeah, and
laptop is still a work in progress.
Okay, that's what I was gonna. And you know, we can also hop on one, not even record, and just play around, like, you know, figure out how to
Mhm.
share and all that stuff. So
Well,
just
I
yeah,
think this is
just write
awesome,
down.
dude, and I think that people
That
love
was
hearing
fun.
these conversations, and I
That was fun.
enjoyed a lot
Oh,
of
for
that, dude.
sure,
That was
dude.
awesome.
Yeah,
Great job,
yeah, man.
guys. That was,
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
had
this
fun.
is how I knew it would go. This is how I knew it would
Mhm.
go for sure.
Same.
Well, let's try to figure out another time. I know it's like, you know, it's kind of gambling every time we're trying to figure it out, but
Well, we got to
um,
get more consistent. I know we all talk about
yeah.
that. Darren and I talk about that with live streams. I know, like, we were talking about that before. Like, and I plan on going to
Mhm.
Twitch and stuff and streaming, you
Are
know, but
you?
like,
Okay.
yeah, but dude, I'm down with like getting something more consistent when we can and like
Mhm.
having these, dude, because these are awesome. And I could talk to you
Yeah,
guys
dude.
literally for 10 hours straight.
Even
For
once a
real.
month, like just once a
Mhm.
month, we get on this and pick a certain Saturday or Sunday or whatever day. And
Mhm.
then also lives. I would like to start trying to do lives more because I'm like almost to 10,000 and you know, you have to do 30 minutes of lives or something
Can
like
you
that. And
stream like this live?
yeah, so you're supposed to. I don't know if it'll work when I'm at 10,000 because right now it won't let me do it on my computer, but
Are you
you know, I think
talking about streaming on live streaming on TikTok?
yeah, TikTok.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say about it, dude, like just me, and this is just me, is that they've become so restrictive that like
Yeah,
even when you play all the
obviously.
stupid games, bro, and like I say it a million times for entertainment, educational purposes, well, and they'll still
Yeah,
flag us.
I
Like,
know.
you,
I know. Yeah.
that's
Yep.
why different platforms, it seems like to kind of branch away from that. And like honestly, fuck TikTok for part of my
It's
friends
the
who
algorithm.
Mhm.
They
No,
and we
Dude, it
bring so
sucks now.
much
It sucks
we
now.
bring so much as all of us as creators, we're bringing so many hours of watching
of
like
course.
content and
Of
like live
course.
streams, and like when you're talking about when you're affecting hundreds of thousands of people at the same time, and then the
Yeah.
app wants to keep screwing us, like
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
we bring our
Well,
business
we'll drive
elsewhere.
it an
Well,
hour and a half away just to record 2 hours. They'll ban us 2 hours in, and then we lose all the footage.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, dude.
that would
Yep.
piss me off, right?
Mhm.
Let's do a live on YouTube then, because we can, you
Yeah,
know,
YouTube's
I've
great actually for
YouTube,
yeah.
lives,
yeah,
and the
that's the way
service
to
is
do it.
way better.
So let's
Way
do that
better.
next maybe. We'll do a live on mine or
Yeah,
Mhm.
whoever's YouTube. It doesn't matter whose it is, but
and
yeah,
then it
we'll
automatically
try that route.
posts right to YouTube once you're done
Yes.
Yes,
with it.
yeah.
Automatically post it. Yeah. So I'll get this you know, edited. I don't take anything out. I like just the, you know, whatever happened happened kind of deal, but
Mhm.
and if y'all want to chop it up and all that, I can send it via email if y'all want to like do some edits and stuff. So
Uh,
it's up to
Yeah,
y'all.
please.
Yeah,
I'll
I was
take
Yeah,
I'll
send
actually
take
me
it
gonna
for
over.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna make a video saying I was going on a live podcast with all you guys, and I was gonna tag all of you. But
Right?
dude, even if we did this every couple weeks, dude, like it ain't gotta be
Mhm.
Yeah.
once a month. Like
Yeah.
once a week, us getting together and talking for an hour. You know what I mean? People
Dude,
will listen
Yeah.
to. You know, they want to hear about this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would Sunday nights work for you guys normally? Because that's a good
It
time
would
for
for
me.
me. It
Yeah.
would
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
would for me
that's
too. Yeah.
yeah. Sunday
Like
works for me,
Yeah.
that's a good
Okay.
time for me.
We'll keep in touch about it. Thank y'all so much though. Y'all
dude.
are
Oh,
Thank
thank
awesome,
you,
man.
you,
bro.
Yeah, thank y'all.
thank
Yeah, it
you.
was a pleasure.
I knew it was going to go that well and you know, it's exciting cuz like we make the, you know, videos alone most of the time. Y'all do it with, you know, Darren and Lance, then even Rob, but you know, I've been wanting to do videos with other creators, so this is
Mm.
perfect. Yeah, I appreciate it.
No, it's a great
No,
crew here. I
this
appreciate
Yeah.
is
you putting it together.
awesome, and we all got to explore together, bro. That's
Yeah.
That's
what
what
we
I'm
got
I
to
saying.
do.
know. I was gonna
Mhm.
that was my next thing. Yeah.
Yo,
Y'all need
I
to
got the mystery van, dog. That's
Dude,
what it's
that's what I'm
let's
called, man.
saying,
go.
Rob. Let's
Pilot
go,
that thing.
bro.
Let's
Hmm.
I'm
go.
I'm
Hmm.
gonna
Yeah.
bring Darren out to see you though in
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
bro.
Yeah.
Whenever,
Eh,
man. You guys are
We're
welcome,
running. We
man.
have like
Absolutely.
literally no more buildings over here to
Oh,
record.
bro, I got a whole list
Y'all
for us
running
down
and
here,
out.
if we
man.
could take a road trip to Texas,
Let's
dude,
go, dude. Yeah, you're
Bro,
I'm
gonna
Yeah.
that's on my
serious.
list. That's
yeah,
on my list. Hmm.
Like
everything's
we keep
ev-
talking about these these trips and stuff, like, but like it's
come on,
time,
dude. Come on,
you
dude.
know,
Hmm.
like
Yeah, come
Yep.
on. There's
Yep.
plenty to film down here, you know, everything's just a little farther away, but yeah, we can get there. We can get
Oh
there for
yeah.
But then
sure.
there's so much stuff too, bro. Like I find all the time, we'll come down there and we'll see something different that you're not, because you drive by it every day,
Completely,
Oh yeah.
and
completely.
like
Yep.
it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
And let's
Dude,
get
some of the best
let's
shit I find was when I took my dog for a walk. Like that was I wasn't looking for
yeah.
anything.
You
You know
weren't,
what I
yeah,
mean? Yeah.
Let's get Chris on too. We'll try to contact him. Chris Beal, is
yeah,
it? Yeah.
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 Chris
Hmm.
I
Beal,
would like to just hear him go off on what he's all found and stuff because like I would love to be a treasure hunter and he seems like one so
yeah.
Hmm.
he,
Chris
Yep.
is wild. You
he
should
just seems
definitely,
like a you know what I mean
if you
so
talk to him, he'll talk to you on the phone. for sure.
Yeah, we've contacted each other. I just need to get his number and all that. So we'll reach out. But all right, guys. Well, y'all have a good night. Peace and
You
love.
too, man.
Hey,
Thank
love
you,
you
guys.
guys. It was awesome.
Love you too,
Rob,
bro.
Next
Aaron,
time.
Logan, thank you, bro.
Jared,
Thanks, brother.
Lance, always a pleasure, guys.
We'll see you,
Always
man.
thanks, guys.